This is We All Be News-Free Dixie for the 21st century. See how it works? Somewhere. Can you dig it?
And so just want you to know. Man, I looked at that smile on your face just now. And the first time I ever wished I was a photographer to take that picture and let the world see that honesty and that integrity. And know some of the things I know, how you drive all over the country to chase us down. Chase us down. Okay? We move so fast. I don't know if you're married. I don't know if you're a family. I don't know if you're a wife. Okay? But when we get on here, we bosom friends. Anytime I see you, I stop whatever I'm doing. Hey, my man, how are you? Hey. Hey, man, well, that's, I owe that to you. It's an obligation that you have. How old are you?
Oh, 36.
So you don't have the right to do what 36 people do. You don't have the right to go to the dance or go to the party. You don't have a right to take that trip to Europe when I might need that plane fare to fly somebody else to feed my people that love me. Mm-hmm. You feed them. Oh, it's one thing being hungry from food. Right. There's another thing being hungry for information.
That's right.
And that's you the feeder. You got to be the farmer. You got to grow the crop. Huh? You got to till the grain. And at nighttime, when you hear something that sounds like water, you got to go and see if the crop's going to be flooded. That's your job, man.
Hey, everybody, this is Brother Ron. I am asking you all to do me a big favor. Think about supporting the We All Be movement. Your donation is tax deductible. The We All Be Group Incorporated is a recognized 501c3. And I'm just asking you all because I want to keep on bringing y'all quality work through the way that I know how to do best. And I'm going to sing my praises and toot my horn. A lot of y'all were not hip to Dick Gregory until Brother Ron brought him on the We All Be platform, until that jingle review we did. Y'all seen another side of Judge Joe Brown, and Judge Joe Brown's message has been amplified. But it was We All Be that brought Judge Joe Brown to y'all back in 2014, and so many others. And we covered so many things. So help us out so we can help you all. Peace.
Well, hello there, my friends. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to We All Be News. News-free Dixie for the 21st century. This is your brother-in-chief, Brother Ron. Brother Heard, what's the word? Brother Heard, what's the word? And the word is reparations. Reparations are due. Reparations, because News-free Dixie is also knowledge is the currency of the universe as well as the university. And so thank you all for tuning out to tune in, to get in where you fit in. And this is We All Be in it to win it. This is our season. This is our time to seize the moment. Thank y'all for coming in. I just had to do this show. This is very important because we got to start reclaiming our narratives and stuff like that. We got to stop waiting to react to these reactionaries. They think they run the world. They don't run the world. God always has the final say. Like what Brother Malcolm X used to say, he said the Negro Revolution is controlled by foxy white liberals and the government, but the Black Revolution is controlled by God, Yay, yay, the universal God is always in control and sees all. And we got to recognize that nobody can save us, nobody can free us but us. It should be for us, and by us. This is We All Be. And Brother Ron, so we got a lot to just talk about. We could talk about a lot of things, when DEI goes wrong, like I tell you, man, woo, white women are the biggest beneficiaries of affirmative action, of DEI. And we just saw the so-called head of the Secret Service step down for being, she didn't derelict of duty. There is no excuse what happened to Donald Trump. That was not something he staged. That's something that really happened. Donald Trump to me is Huey Long's and JFK's revenge. If you know anything about American history, Huey Long, former governor of Louisiana and U.S. senator from Louisiana, who was actually assassinated back in September 1935 at the state's capital in Baton Rouge down in Louisiana. Huey Long, who was a threat to FDR and his New Deal shenanigans. FDR was afraid of Huey Long. Huey Long was like an anti-establishment candidate, took on big oil, Standard Oil down in Louisiana, forced this monopoly, Standard Oil, to pay for the school books for kids. He helped, start adult literacy programs that made not only white people literate, but also Black people became literate under his adult literacy program. Matter of fact, Huey Newton, who is from Monroe, Louisiana. He was born in Monroe, Louisiana. We know Huey started the Black Panthers Party for self-defense on the West Coast, on the left coast. But he was, let me see. I hope y'all can hear me. I think I can hear. Can y'all hear me out there? Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. I think I received that. Thank you for the blessings upon blessings upon blessings. But Huey P. Newton was named for Huey Long, the white man from Louisiana, because he helped a lot of Black people learn how to read, literacy, adult literacy. He didn't play the normal race card that a lot of people did. He was a Democrat in name, but he went along with Franklin Roosevelt at first, but turned his back on Franklin Roosevelt and his so-called New Deal. He started a thing called Share the Wealth program back in the 1930s during the Great Depression. Every man a king. It didn't make a difference what color you were. Every man a king. He wanted a 40-hour work week, stuff like that, living wage for all families. He wanted to stay out of geopolitical politics as we know it. World War II was just about on the verge of starting back in the late 1930s. Germany invaded Poland. You had the fascist war up in Spain, but Huey didn't want no parts of that. He would believe in isolationism, did not believe in empire. He believed in sharing the wealth, and they got rid of him. He actually wrote a book before he passed called My First 100 Days in the White House. I read that book, and it's worth a read because he was truly a visionary. He had millions of people. This was MAGA before MAGA. This was Share the Wealth. Look it up. He had millions of people listen to him on the radio back in the 1930s. He'll get tens of thousands of letters weekly from the American people about the Share the Wealth program. This is before social media. This is before everything we do now. He was doing it back in the 1930s. Millions of people. And people understand that the 1930s, we were closer to revolution than we are now. We was closer to revolution. Well, I can't say now, but people always talk about the 1960s. And we got to understand the 1930s is what they don't want you to know about when now people are trying to do labor movements and movement and get stuff organized, unions and stuff like that. And you had the bonus army, which really led to the creation of the GI Bill that the World War II veterans, especially the white World War II veterans, benefited from. This was created by World War I veterans who did not receive everything they supposed to get out of the Great War. Like it was promised by the government certain benefits that were not delivered because World War I ended in 1918. So this is 1930s. They had tent cities in Washington, D.C. And then the government used the army, the military to break it up. So you had military go against military veterans, beating them up real bad, forcing them out of DC. So some of the people that was involved in that, Douglas MacArthur, General George Patton, Dwight D. Eisenhower, future president and leader of the Supreme Allied Forces in World War II, they were all involved in violating veterans on behalf of the government. And because of the sacrifices of these brave men, matter of fact, it was a man that was part of the bonus army who actually saved the life of General George Patton in World War I. And George went against him. He didn't know who he was and stuff like that. It's a really sad situation. But nothing is free about freedom. Freedom is not free. Like Brother Malcolm would say, if you're not prepared to die for it, get the word freedom out of your vocabulary. Patrick Henry said, give me liberty or give me death. And a lot of us, we don't want to be free. We want to be codependent in a very bad relationship with Uncle Sam and his bottom bitch, Lady Liberty. So it is what it is. But let's be honest and truthful about our situation. Stop acting like Project 2025 haven't been here since 1619. Project 2025 is Project 1619. Is this what y'all want to talk about? This is a thing that I think people just are very ahistorical. Like it's good that people have voices on social media and got all these podcasts and everything, and y'all follow certain people, but people are doing you a disservice when you do yourself a disservice when you don't do your own research and critical thinking and ask questions. It's important to ask questions. It's important to be able to think for yourself and not follow talking heads. Not even me. Don't trust everything I'm saying. Trust your instinct, develop your intuition, because these are truly info wars. We are living in an age of deception. There's a lot of transparency coming along, but the thing about transparency is, do you have the discernment to recognize the lies from the truth, the facts from the fiction? And that's important. That's why I decided to go live tonight. I'm not the greatest or the most followed, and I'm not the most beloved. I could be very polarizing because I speak my mind, but if you got the time, I don't mind speaking my mind. So we all be in it to win it. So the head of the Secret Service, she resigned, but she had a parachute. She had a golden parachute. She's gonna be okay. But it's weird that people think that Donald Trump will try to shoot himself in the face. Oh, it's staged. It's staged, but it's false flag. Doesn't mean it's fake. People died. People got hurt. False flag don't mean fake. Most of these things are staged. It's other characters involved. It's very nefarious. It's like the Federal Reserve was a conspiracy that was formed on Jekyll Island out off the coast of Georgia. And Woodrow Wilson, he wasn't a part of that meeting, but he benefited, from they helped him become president. The Wall Street banksters, the Rothschild banking people, England got controlled by the Rothschilds, the banking dynasty from Germany. The Rothschild, y'all talking about the Illuminati. They was able to control England because they gave England the money to defeat Napoleon. So wars are conducted for profiteering, for controlling of resources, not liberation. So y'all thinking we fight a war for freedom, even we still answer to the crown. America is not a democracy, it's a constitutional republic. We are still beholden to the crown. Think about the three cities. You got Washington, D.C., London, and the Vatican. Those are the crowns and the jewels. This is the Roman Empire. We are in the last days. The barbarians are not only at the gate, they are inside the castle. The barbarians are inside the castle, ransacking everything. So they pillaging, ransacking. And I just want to talk about what's going on. Like this boogeyman mentality a lot of us have. We just heard about the tragic, unfortunate. I said misfortunate. We could make up words, conversation. The unfortunate demise of our dear sister, Sonya Massey. Yeah, y'all heard about what happened to her in Springfield, Illinois. Her life was snuffed out by the police. This is not 2025. This is 2024. So y'all talking about Project 2025, right? the police would get immunity, all this stuff. Now this is 2024. This is Project 2024, 2025, folks. So she got killed. It caught on a police cam. They caught it. His partner and God it is. She said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." She knew she was dealing with a devil. She knew that she was dealing with a demon. But unfortunately, when she made a mistake, she invited the demon or vampire into her home. A vampire or demon can only come in when you invite them in. You invite these entities in. She immediately recognized who she was dealing with. That's why she was on the phone, I think with the dispatcher or somebody like that, and she didn't want to get off the phone. But he killed her, really unprovoked. She was not a threat. She was not a threat. He told her to go to the stove, to turn off the stove with the boiling hot water. And she did it. She said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." It pissed him off because he was a demon. She recognized what it was. He was not humane. He's not human. For him to do that to a person, a mother, a daughter, or somebody that was not a threat is ridiculous. And even his colleagues, after he did what he did, he called this lady a crazy bee. Yeah, shot her in her head. She bleeding out on the floor. And I really don't understand why they be blurring out stuff. Let us see everything. Y'all show everything on TV. Y'all show everything in these movies. Y'all try to take the minds of our young people, trying to distort their view of the world, trying to put all types of evil intentions in their mind with this media thing. You got the nerve to blur out the image of that black woman bleeding out. What if they blurred out the image of Emmett Till in the casket? What if Mammy said, "I want the world to see what they did to my baby boy," and they blur it out because it's too graphic. Y'all play video games that are more graphic. That's why we don't believe Donald Trump got shot, because we play Call of Duty, Fortnite, whatever y'all be playing, Grand Theft Auto. Y'all think it's a game. Y'all think this is not real. And these games that we play have real consequences. So this is why we so desensitized and lack empathy and compassion. And for people say, "Well, she shouldn't have the boiling hot water." What's she gonna do? It's like when they say, "You stop resisting arrest." They beating you upside the head with a baton, like Tyree Nichols. He getting beat down, and it says, "Stop resisting arrest." I can't help but respond when you hit me and punch me and kick me. I'm a human. I'm not an inanimate object. Even AI is beginning to have feelings. Even artificial intelligence is beginning to have feelings. And watch out when they start getting in their feelings. When it's that time of the month. The time of the month. Get up, get up. But I say all this to say that black people, we have no friends. How many Asians got killed before they passed an Asian anti-hate bill for Asians? How many Asians had to get killed? I talk about Emmett Till. Emmett Till's birthday will be July 25th. His heavenly birthday will be July 25th. He would have been, how old Emmett Till would have been? He was 14. He was born in 41, right? So Emmett Till would have been what? He would have been 84 this year. Is that correct? 84. He would have been 84 this year, or 83. I'm on the air. I don't know why people calling me. I'm on the air. You could donate, but I'm on the air. Call me on the air, but I'm on the air. And please support the movement, because y'all not gonna get these perspectives on your regular thing. Even the black media has been lacking lately. And we got to talk about the Sonya Massey thing. I'm gonna talk about Kamala, but Kamala's not important. But like I told y'all, y'all dream and fantasy is Kamala Harris, but your reality and nightmare, or nightmare and reality, is Sonya Massey. And the thing, I have no faith with us as a people, because this is like, I think about what happened to Sandra Bland back in the summer of 2015. There was no follow-up. We are such a weak people. I'm gonna be honest, we weak right now. We soft. We need some discipline. We need some hard times. We need to keep on, because I don't know what's gonna take. I really don't. Y'all want to do line dances and wear chucks and pearls and stuff. Y'all don't want to go to the gun range and learn and work out and stuff like that. Y'all don't want to do that. So The thing about it is that I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to allow these people to run me off of YouTube and TikTok. They be removing TikTok videos, muting my TikTok videos, YouTube, and all these Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. But the thing about it is, let me see. Thing about it is this. I don't know why people want to call me. I'm trying to do this show. Okay. Thing about it is that you got to look at the fact that, they killed this woman, right? They killed this woman in Springfield, Illinois, correct? Springfield, Illinois. And we're talking about what's happening next month in Illinois and Chicago, the Democratic National Convention. How convenient she get killed or murdered or whatever you want to call it, systemically lynched in Springfield, Illinois, which is the birthplace of the NAACP. It's the birthplace of the NAACP, Springfield, Illinois. And the thing about it is, what people don't know about Illinois or Illinois is that they got a lot of sundown towns in Illinois. A lot of sundown towns. You got Chicago and you got everything else. Illinois is basically like, ain't no different than y'all think about Mississippi or Alabama or Georgia. They're just up north Mississippi, Illinois. So you got Chicago, and Chicago got its problems. It's very segregated. The funny thing about the North is more segregated than the South. The North is more segregated than the South. And you think about it, I remember I met a sister at the Greyhound bus station back in the day, years ago. I met at the Greyhound bus station years ago in downtown Memphis. She was from Alabama. And she told me basically that her folks used to own a grocery store in rural Alabama. And she said their biggest clientele, this is a Black woman, their biggest clientele were white people that lived in their community. White folks would go to her father's grocery store to buy stuff from him. This is the Jim Crow days. Y'all talk about the South, but in the South, it was a saying. I don't want to get the saying wrong. I don't even try to attempt to say I also like George W. Bush, but the thing about it is it's a misconception about the South, because even Dr. King in Atlanta, some of his playmates were white growing up until they got a certain age, and they were distanced from Dr. King. He couldn't play with his white playmates anymore. Marcus Garvey talked about, or you look at the life of Marcus Garvey growing up in Jamaica. He had a playmate, a white playmate, a white female playmate, and then when they came a certain age, they distanced the white girl from Marcus Garvey. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how it goes. So the thing about it is, it's like when you look at Illinois is a sundown capital. There's a lot of sundown towns. I think about Cicero, Illinois, right? You think about Cicero, Illinois, it was a sundown town for a long time, Cicero, Illinois. You had this situation. Michelle Clark was one of the first Black female TV news correspondents and journalists. Her family tried to move to Cicero. They had got an apartment, even had like a upper end piano. And before they could even set foot and try to make a home, you had about 4,000, 5,000 white people trying to kill a Black family. It's like they were trying to lynch the Huxtables. These were like upstanding Black people. These were not, no low class people. These were good people, educated people, proud people. And yet you had 4,000 and 5,000 white thugs trying to kill this Black family that the Adlai Stevenson, who was the governor of Illinois, had to call in the National Guard to keep 4,000 to 5,000 white people from lynching this family just because they had the audacity to move into Cicero, Illinois. And I believe they left the piano. I don't think they got any of their belongings out of Cicero. They got out with their lives. But, she was a journalist, a news correspondent, all that stuff. She ended up getting killed in the Watergate plane crash back on December 8th, 1972. He had a commercial airliner crash into a neighborhood in Chicago on his way to Midway Airport, whatever. You head on the airplane, Michelle Clark, she perished along with Dorothy Hunt, who was the wife of the CIA spy master. What's his name? E.H. Hunt, I believe, or E.L., something like that. He was the spy master, a shadowy figure in the Kennedy assassination, and one of the Watergate plumbers. They alleged she had like millions of dollars in a traveler's checks in a suitcase on her person, something like that. That it was money from the Nixon administration to help pay for the legal defense of the Watergate plumbers who broke into the Watergate, hotel, whatever. That was the headquarters for the Democratic Party. So, she had that money from the administration. And my understanding, also who was on the plane was U.S. Representative George Collins. He was a black congressman from Chicago. He perished on the plane as well. So the first responders you think would be the fire department and police. It was the FBI. The FBI got onto that plane. Allegedly, they retrieved that suitcase full of money, and nobody ever heard from it again. And I believe that that Michelle Clark's body was cremated without the family's consent. I'm not sure. There's different stories, but I think her body was cremated to cover up. I'm thinking cover up cause of death. You know what I'm saying? What really, how she really died. She could have survived, and they probably could have offered. Who knows? So then I understand that her boyfriend was CIA. So it was like a lot of murder. This is before the Watergate scandal became public in the public arena. So this was like right on the eve of all that, happening, and Richard Milhouse Nixon resigning. But Chicago, Illinois is like a lot of sundown towns. It's not just in the South. You talk about, Lake Lanier down in Forsyth County, down in Georgia. There used to be Oscarville, a black town. Forsyth County was a sundown county for a long time. Black folks was ran out of there back in the 1910s. But let's talk about this Sonya Massey, excuse me. And so on July 6, 2024, Sonya Massey, a 36-year-old Black American woman, was fatally shot in her home by Deputy Sean Grayson of the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office in Woodside Township near Springfield, Illinois. The shooting followed a 911 call that Massey herself placed in reference to a prowler. After Deputy Sean Grayson, the shooter, and an unidentified deputy entered Massey's home following a search of the immediate vicinity, the three engaged in brief conversation surrounding Massey's driver's license and a vehicle in her driveway. After Grayson directed Massey to check on the boiling pot of water on her stove, the deputies quickly escalated with both drawing their service pistols. With Grayson screaming he would shoot Massey in the effing face, Grayson then shot Massey 3 times, killing her. Following the shooting, Grayson was fired from the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office and charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder, among other charges. Okay. So it said the incident, I'm just reading it. So, because a lot of people just now hearing about this. I didn't hear about this within the last 24 hours, and it's really disturbing. So it said early on the morning, July 6, 2024, Massey called the authorities as she believed that someone had broken into her home. 2 deputies, Grayson, the second unidentified deputy, responded and subsequently searched Massey's backyard in the immediate vicinity of her property, finding no evidence of any suspicious activity or persons. The officers approached Massey's front door, and Grayson knocked multiple times to no avail. After approximately 3 minutes, Massey opened the door and engaged in conversation with the deputies. The deputies informed Massey that they hadn't found anything of note in their search while Massey used her cell phone. As the deputies prepared to end the exchange, the unidentified officer walked around the side of Massey's house to report the license plate number of a vehicle in her driveway that Massey informed deputies was not hers. Massey and Grayson continued to engage in conversation. After the unidentified officer walked back to Massey's front door, the 3 entered Massey's residence. Inside the home, Grayson repeatedly asked Massey to provide her driver's license and discussed the vehicle parked in her driveway. As the unidentified deputy looked around the residence, Massey could be seen looking through a small stack of papers and her purse. At one point, Massey asked Grayson to hand her a Bible. After around a minute and a half of searching, the deputies mentioned a pot of water boiling on Massey's stove and request that she checked on it, as they don't need a fire while we're here. After Massey picks up the pot of water and walks from her stove to her sink, the unidentified deputy and Grayson move backwards. Massey asks the officers what they're doing, as in why are they backing up? Grayson replies that he's distancing himself from the pot of hot boiling water. Massey repeats her question, and says, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." After Massey repeats her statement at Grayson's prompting, Grayson draws his gun and replies, "You better effing not. I swear to God, I'll effing shoot you right in your effing face." Well, outstanding officer of the law there. The unidentified deputy also draws his gun. Massey immediately apologizes by saying, "Okay, I'm sorry," and drops to the floor behind the kitchen counter. However, both deputies advance from the living room towards the kitchen with their weapons trained on Massey. After several seconds of shouting orders to Massey for her to drop the pot of water, Grayson fires 3 shots at Massey, mortally wounding her. CBS News reported that the footage of the shooting showed that Massey may be holding the pot of water above her head right before the shots are fired. The unidentified deputy radios that shots had been fired and that there was a woman with a headshot wound. They began to leave to grab their medical kit. However, Grayson tells them not to, saying that she's done. Massey was later pronounced dead at St. John's Hospital in Springfield. Body camera footage of the shooting was released July 22nd. So that's really sad. So like Baba Dick Gregory said, I never heard of her before this unfortunate incident happened to her. Baba Dick Gregory will always say, "Ron, sometimes it's not the way you live, but how you die that the world remembers you. It's not always the way how you live, but the way you die that the world chooses to remember you." That's like George Floyd. It's not about his living, it's the way he died. But don't tell me that George Floyd is Dr. King. Please don't do. Joe Biden, with Sleepy Joe, Crooked Joe, Sloppy Joe Biden, said that George Floyd's death was bigger than Dr. King's death. That was disrespect to Black people. And no offense to George Floyd, but I'm looking at, I'm not here to judge George. Y'all can do research on George Floyd, but I'm saying it was unfortunate the way he died. But don't compare him to a man who actually committed himself to the service and the empowerment of his people, who was willing to give his life, but his life was taken away from him by government thugs. It is well known, or it should be well known, that the gun that killed Dr. King came from the FBI. So y'all gonna do with it what you want. But they had a civil trial here in Memphis, December 8th, 1999. U.S. government found complicit, guilty in assassinating Dr. King. FBI killed Fred Hampton. That was proven in civil court back in the early 80s. Killed Fred Hampton and Mark Clark as they slept in their apartment on the west side of Chicago. And y'all talking about Project 2025. Y'all get out here, man. Y'all can miss me with that crap. You up here catching hell every day of your life. You talking about some Project 2025. Back to the future. y'all miss me. They talking about Trump on the Trump. Look what's happening on the Biden, on the Obama. This is business as usual. I was in Ferguson. Mike Brown summer. The summer of Mike Brown, August, Black August 2014. The government was using illegal toxins on civilians. The police down there was using illegal toxic elements that was outlawed by the Geneva Convention. They were using chemicals on civilians that was outlawed by the Geneva Convention. You had pregnant people, you had all types of people in that crowd. I was down there, and they using these type of chemicals that was outlawed by the Geneva Convention. You had a Democratic governor at the time, Jay Nixon, and you had a Democratic president, Barack Hussein Obama, did not do a damn thing to make that guy answer for why he allowed his law enforcement thugs to use that stuff on civilians. You had Eric Holder, the attorney general, a Democrat. He the one that said, you know, if we don't deal with the issue of race, we're a nation of cowards. But he's the biggest coward. Now, he's one of the biggest cowards because he visited the Ferguson, but they did not reprimand. They did not punish. They did nothing to the governor, Jay Nixon, for allowing his police force or law enforcement to use gas that was outlawed by the Geneva Convention. So don't tell me about Project 2025. And don't tell me Kamala Harris is the savior of black people. She's not really black. She's more Aryan. She's more Asian. She's more Jewish than she is black. Miss me with that. I want a black person like Marion Barry black. I want a Dr. W.W. Harrington black person. I want a black person who both parents came out the Mississippi Delta and who great migrated to Detroit or Chicago. I want that type of black. I want Sylvia's Restaurant black. I want South Carolina, Georgia Allen's black. Don't give me no mixed breed. No disrespect. See, people gonna take this the wrong way, but don't give me some mixed breed who identifies more with the so-called, y'all like to call it dominant culture. I call it lack of culture, who identifies more with white society than with black folk, with the souls of black folk. Don't give me these people that like to cosplay black. No, if you ain't gonna give us reparations, give us black folks that look like us and come from where we come from. Who folks was in chattel slavery, who had people that fought in the Civil War, the Revolutionary War. I had people that fought in the Revolutionary War and the Civil War, black and white, whatever you want to say, but I'm American. But yet I can't get thousands of dollars of food stamps and rent support, and people that don't even know how to speak the language, who are not citizens, they get everything. See, what they messed up at, that Chicago convention is going to be something else. You understand what I'm saying? That Democratic convention in Chicago won't be peaceful. It's not because I don't want it to be peaceful, because it's Chicago. And black folks are upset in Chicago. Black Americans are upset. I love Chicago. All eyes will be on Chicago in August because Springfield is in Illinois, right? This is the so-called land of Lincoln, but you got all these sundown towns. You got all this stuff that's happening. Even Chicago, they had a police commander who used to torture black people at black sites like it was the CIA over in the Middle East. You know, you have, I talk about Fred Hampton, all this crap that's going on. And you got the nerve to talk about some damn Project 2025. Y'all doing tutorials and slideshows and Zoom calls about Project 2025. What you doing in year 2024? You know, and it's all the orange guys, Agent Orange fault that we've been suffering. Oh, he discriminated against black people. Who invented redlining? Was it Donald Trump fault that black veterans from World War II didn't get everything out the GI Bill like their white counterparts? Yeah, his daddy built homes for World War II veterans, and he built the projects for the government. Yeah, his daddy, Fred Trump, the Trump Organization. But also Donald Trump, he gave the Black Panther Party housing in Harlem. He gave them a good deal on housing. Donald Trump helped out Jesse Jackson back in the 80s. Donald Trump did a lot of stuff. So I think it's really sad that people get Trump derangement syndrome. And I refuse to be a black person that's going to be silent while y'all get to talk about Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and the good Democrats. And y'all think that y'all don't supposed to get no pushback. I got elders, these civil wrongers, not civil writers, but civil wrongers in my damn DMs and text message talking about, yeah, we vote. I said, you know what? I had a conversation with we call Mukasa Dada. People down in Georgia in the movement know who it is. Mukasa Dada, Willie Ricks. He was known as Willie Ricks back in the day. He was Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Torre's right-hand man. If Stokely, they used to call Stokely Carmichael Stokely Starmichael. because he was very charismatic. He was always in front of the camera. You know, a good looking guy, charismatic, brilliant. But you know, a lot of people didn't know. Some of his cast, some of the people in the movement, they were kind of jealous of Carmichael Stokely. They thought he got too much attention. They called him Star Michael. But anyway, this was his right-hand man. They organized in Greenwood, Mississippi back in the day. He was the cat that gave Stokely Carmichael the phrase Black Power. You know, Black Power, the phrase is associated with Stokely Carmichael or Kwame Ture, but he said in a BBC interview, I believe, that he got that phrase from Willie Ricks when he was organizing down in Greenwood, Mississippi. But he said to me that they didn't really care about the vote. Like some of them, it wasn't about the vote. It was about bringing attention to the hell that Black folks was catching, in particular in the Deep South. They used voting registration and things like that to bring attention to the hell that Black people was catching. Because you got to remember, like, you know, you had 3 civil rights workers disappeared, lynched, whatever, kidnapped, lynched on Father's Day, 1964, down in Mississippi. They found their bodies August 4th, 1964. This is Mickey Schwerner, Andrew Goodman, 2 Jews from New York, and a Black man from the South, James Chaney. James Chaney was like, I believe, 21 years young. He had a daughter that was like a little bit over a week old. He had a little bit over a week old daughter that he never met, and they did this to him on Father's Day. Where's my check? Where's our reparations? You took this man away from his daughter he never met. She looks just like her father. I had a chance to interview her on the 50th anniversary of the discoveries of the bodies in the earthen dam on a rich white man's property. But I'm saying she was like a little bit over a week born, like week old, right? Like 11 days, I think, like that. And her father got kidnapped and took him from her. They took her father from her at the age of 21. I believe he was 21. It's the early 20s. He was a young guy. I think Mickey Schwerner was the oldest at 24, I believe. Look them up. They did a movie, Mississippi Burning, about that case. Dick Gregory was involved in forcing the FBI to put up reward money for the capture or any information leading to the whereabouts of their missing bodies. So Dick Gregory don't get enough credit. They gave the credit to a mafia guy from New York for breaking the case, but Dick Gregory was doing stuff behind the scenes and being vocal in front of the cameras to bring attention to what happened to those 3 civil rights workers. I say all this to say is that cop, that Sean Grayson that shot and killed our dear sister Sonya, he was a problem. You know, this guy had 2 DUIs, so he used to drive around drunk. He's an officer of the law, driving around drunk, got moved around to several different police departments in a short span of time. So that's a red flag right there as well. There's several red flags. And then if you look at the body cam, you look at the response of his fellow officers, they knew he was a problem. They knew he messed up. He knew he messed up. But the fact that he called this woman a crazy bee after he got through killing her, ain't no way in hell he should be in law enforcement. He never saw her as a human being. She was calling for help, and this is what happened. It's like the sister down in Texas or Fort Worth or whatever that got killed several years ago, playing video games with her nephew in her bedroom. And I think somebody called the police for a wellness check, you know, a neighbor that was concerned because I think they saw the door open a little bit, the front door or something like that. And the police officer was peeping around the house, and he looked through the window, and I think she saw the figure in the window, and she got frightened, and he just shot her without even, you know, letting her know I'm the police, whatever. So she was treated like a criminal in her own home. Sister Sonya was also treated like a criminal in her own home. And that's disgraceful. That's disrespectful. And y'all gonna ask Kamala Harris for help, because you know she was the top cop in California for years. She made her reputation putting Black people in prison. She made her reputation saving the money, the state of government of California money, because California is in the red right now. California is broke. I believe they say California is the brokest state in the union, allegedly. Y'all can look that up on your own. But to think that we could have a California ticket on a Democratic side, you could have Kamala Harris running for president, and you could have Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, as the VP. So do we really want to bring California politics? No disrespect to people who live in Cali, but Cali is not only expensive to live, but also it's expensive to visit. But then I think the only people that really got it good outside the uber wealthy in California are the homeless people. You know, go to LA. You see what I'm talking about. The homeless people, you don't have to worry about it getting cold in the winter like you living in Milwaukee or Chicago. The weather's good. You could sunbathe on the sidewalk. I saw homeless people in Hollywood sunbathing on the sidewalk out in Cali when I went out there to LA back in 2017. Homeless people, they winning out in Cali. They even got places they could stay if they want to stay. No rent charge. But yet the rent is too damn high everywhere else. Gas is too damn high. Food is too damn high. But somehow Kamala Harris was able to get all these donations as soon as it was announced that Joe Biden and the Clintons and other people got behind her. I don't think Obama got behind her yet. Y'all know the Obamas, Michelle and Barack, I don't think they openly endorsed her yet. But the Clintons did. I think Nancy Pelosi did. And Joe Biden, of course, the president. And the thing about it is, what's interesting about that situation, there's a clip of Gerald Ford, President Gerald Ford. A young girl asked him, would a woman ever be president of the United States? And it was interesting because like he said, he answered the question. He said, I hope one day that a woman would be president of the United States, but it would not be in a traditional way. Because Gerald Ford was the guy who replaced Richard Nixon after he resigned. You know, he was a vice president for a short period of time, kind of like a Harry Truman. You know, Harry Truman was like vice president behind Franklin Roosevelt for like, I think 82 days before he took over office after Franklin Roosevelt was deleted or neutralized. You know, people got theories about how Franklin Roosevelt really died down in Warm Springs, Georgia, on April 12th, 1945, but whatever. But Harry Truman was the vice president for a little bit over 80 days. He took over the office. He did the bidding of the CIA and Israel and the other stuff. So we ain't going to talk about that tonight. But Nixon resigned because Spiro Agnew, who was, I believe, was he governor of Maryland at one point? He was a Maryland politician. He was Nixon vice president, but he got in trouble with corruptness and they got rid of him. So Gerald Ford became the vice president for Nixon. And he replaced Nixon, and he lost to, of course, Jimmy Carter in the 76 election. But the young girl, this is an elementary school age girl, she asked him, do you believe that a woman could ever be president? He said, yes, I will hope one day that a woman can be president. You know, he gave on the politician answers, but he said it won't be in a traditional way. What would happen is that a party would nominate a man as president and a woman as vice president, and that man will probably die in office, and that's how she becomes president. That man would die, the president would die in office, the vice president becomes the president. Look what's going on now in 2024. Biden is missing. He is an MIA. They need to put out a Biden alert, a POTUS alert. Because where is Biden? Biden has not been seen, right? They say he got the sniffles, he got that stuff, he got that package, right? He got that C package, right? Allegedly. But where is Biden? So my thing is, okay, he said he's not seeking a re-election. This is reminiscent of Lyndon Baines Johnson dropping out of seeking a second elected term as president of the United States. This back, I believe he did that back in March 31st, 68. I think Lyndon B. Johnson, because Bobby Kennedy was in the race at the time. So the party was very divided. This is what I'm talking about. The Democrats, they'll be lucky if they win. And if they do win, there'll be some shenanigans going on. Because a party this divided usually does not have any luck in the general election, in the fall. You think about even the Republican Party had their situation back in 1912 when Teddy Roosevelt split the Republican vote with the Bull Moose Party. But had either William Howard Taft or Roosevelt got the nomination, they would have beat Woodrow Wilson, probably in a landslide, but it split the Republican vote nationwide, unfortunately, for that situation, because had either one of them got in, we may not have the IRS today. We may not have the Federal Reserve today, because what happened, Woodrow Wilson made a deal with those people He said, you make me president, I'll give you your Federal Reserve. I'll give you your IRS. So this is why it does matter. I know people say that voting don't matter. Look, they want you to think anything that will benefit you doesn't matter. They want people to say, I'm gonna sit this one out. Okay, that's your prerogative. I ain't gonna shame you, because I believe it's weird that Black people get vote shaming. They vote shame Black people. We the only group of people that get vote shamed. Everybody else get to do what they want to do, but we're the only group of people that get vote shamed. You know, you think about it. They don't vote shame Asians, and Asians got the anti-Asian hate bill, right? They don't vote shame Jews. They don't vote shame anybody but Black people, even Mexicans. You know, they're talking about brown people. No, we only Black people. Y'all keep on talking about Black and brown. Only Black people get a certain type of treatment. We're a special group of peoples. That's why we should get reparations, because nobody get treated historically as a group like we've been treated. Because even when you come on Native Americans, they reclassified a lot of Native Americans as Black. Then you had white folks that got on the rolls, on $5 Indians that paid $5 to get on the rolls to be classified as Native American. So how can I trust them to say that, oh, you're not really Native American, when y'all let white folks cosplay as Indian? You know, remember when Donald Trump was talking about the senator from Massachusetts, Elizabeth Warren? I believe she even got a scholarship to go to college, an Indian scholarship or something, I believe. He was calling her Pocahontas. He was making fun of her. Hey, Pocahontas, 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 Pocahontas. So she was cosplaying, I don't know. But I'm just saying, I actually have people, my family are Native American. You can look at them, you say, okay, they're like Indian, because we think of Indians like they all got look Asian looking, pale skin, dark skinned Indians. Think about the Seminoles, think about the descendants of the freemen. Think about the guy they said invented the potato chip, George Crumb. Look at his picture. They list him as being Black and Native American. His sister that was known as Kate, Aunt Katie, they was in the kitchen. He was a famous culinary chef during the 19th century. He died in 1914, I believe. But they say he invented the potato chip. But they said his answer, he was Black and Native American. He's like what Old Dirty Bastard talking about, how he was a part of the nation in New York, right? His people, I guess, sold Manhattan for little trinkets. I think he was part of that nation, right? Old Dirty Bastard talked about being Native American. There's a lot of stuff they want to hide from us because they don't want us to claim our birthright. If so-called Black people knew who, if we knew who we really were, we wouldn't take what the Democrats call symbolism. We will demand. We will not ask. Like Frederick Douglass, who was a proud Republican, would say, power concedes nothing without a demand. Power concedes nothing without a demand. We're not demanding. We're satisfied with BS. So I can't blame Democrats or even Republicans or whoever treat us the way they treat us, because we don't respect ourselves enough to demand better from not only them, but ourselves as well. We don't hold ourselves to that standard. That's why you can't tell me about no Project 2025. I recalled Tamir Rice, Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, Jordan Davis, Sandra Bland got killed on Obama's watch. Y'all make all these conspiracy theories online talking about her mugshot. She like she was dead. She probably was dead because that energy was off in that mugshot. That didn't feel, it feel weird. It was like staged. That seemed like it was staged. The mugshot of Sandra Bland, and y'all believe that she committed suicide over a traffic infraction or whatever citation. I mean, she was about to start a new job at her alma mater, I believe, at her old stomping college ground, and she couldn't get nobody on the phone that weekend to bail her out or whatever. I think she even had a boyfriend. He didn't take her call. Not judging nobody, but they told us, I believe, one story that she hanged herself with a garbage bag. Ain't nobody asked, what brand was the garbage bag that she hanged herself with? Let's do a strength test of the garbage bag. We don't even got people like that. We got no institutions. We don't got no people in Congress that ask those questions on behalf of our people. What was the brand of the garbage bag? Let us roll back the cameras, because they said other people got killed or unalive at that jail. We can't even say real talk. They'll show nude scenes on TV, very graphic nude scenes of same sex and different sex all types of sex on TV, and we're gonna blur out the image of Sonya Massey getting massacred and killed and lynched because we so, oh man, it's too graphic. Y'all show all this crap. I look at cartoons today. I look at all this stuff. You look at this Amazon Prime TV sitcom show, whatever, The Boys, all that graphic stuff and all that just degenerate stuff that they show on TV in prime time. You got the nerve to blur out the image of this black woman who was killed in cold blood. They act like she was about to throw hot grits on her. You see the video footage, she was nowhere near. All they had to do was step back instead of going forward. They had control of the situation. The guy was like a football player. Big like a football player. You can tell he was a damn bully. Even his own colleagues knew something was wrong with him. The way they acted after he did what he did, called a woman crazy B. He on camera, he got a badge. Y'all talking about the Klan don't wear no robes. They wear uniforms, they wear suits. You know what I'm saying? You got police officers. You think about L.A., Los Angeles County. A lot of them police officers are they're gang members. I'm not just talking about the black police officers and sheriffs, and I'm talking about all of them. They all in the gang. They got different gangs. People got these tattoos, different sets, and all this. What I'm saying is the government is the biggest gang. The government is the biggest mob. So y'all can keep on talking about like NAACP was started in Springfield, Illinois. It was because of a race massacre in Springfield, Illinois, the land of Lincoln, that the NAACP was started back in 1909. And so, I mean, what are we doing here, people? What are we doing? I mean, y'all keep on talking about some Project 2025. 1909 was Project 2025. What y'all talking about? Y'all be tripping me out with this stuff, all these scare tactics. I wish y'all believe in reparations like y'all do Project 2025. It's ridiculous, man. Got all these educated people. I call them educated fools from uneducated schools, like my cousin Curtis Mayfield. Something like what he said. What's it? Educated fools from uneducated schools. Something like that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Hell Below song. Y'all correct me in the comments. I ain't gonna, y'all can look up Curtis Mayfield. The Hell Below song, I guess. But I'm trying to look at that Springfield thing because that started in NAACP back in 1909. We talk about the year 1915. The year 1915 was the start of the Anti-Defamation League. There's also the year that Leo Frank was lynched by white folks down in Georgia. Then the Birth of a Nation kick-started the Ku Klux Klan, also in Georgia, Stone Mountain, Georgia, back in 1915. Fraternal Order of Police was founded in 1915. I talk about, you talk about police officers being held accountable for what they do. You had Lieutenant Charles Becker, who was put to death July 30th, 1915, up in Sing Sing in New York. He was like one of the most corrupt cops in NYPD history. I guess he was running Vice in Manhattan. They say he masterminded the assassination of one of his former business partners, Herman Rosenthal, this Jewish gambler, gangster dude that ran a lot of gambling dens in Manhattan. He organized the hit, so he was found guilty in the second trial. And it was a black man, like I told you, it was a black man that put the final nail in his coffin, named James Marshall, that his defense tried to discredit because he was a black man. Is it the sin in my skin? Oh, what did I do to be so black and blue? So they didn't fall for it. So this dude went to his death. His birthday was actually July 26th. So he was 45 years old when he was put in the electric chair. And they had to do it 3 times, sent shock waves through his body 3 times because he was such a big, strong guy. And I can't think of any other times really that a police officer was held accountable for stuff they did while wearing the badge to the level of Lieutenant Charles Becker back in 1915. But y'all talking about police has immunity. They've been having immunity. I'm in Memphis, right? Whoo. Y'all talking about Tyree Nichols because it's the latest, right? I met his folks. He got good people. I like his parents. They cool. Stepdad and his mom, pretty cool people. Pretty, they decent to me. But I think about Larry Payne a lot. Not a lot, but like Larry Payne was killed by police after Dr. King's last march in Memphis in the projects back on March 28th, 1968. He was killed before witnesses. Police claimed that he had a knife on him, and they shot him in front of people in the projects. And the mom found out about what happened to her son. She rushed, tried to get to his side, and the police pulled a gun on her, saying, "I'm gonna kill you next." And I interviewed his mom, and she ran out the city with her family. They ran to all places, Flint, Michigan. She passed up in Flint several years ago, but I had a chance to interview her, I believe back in 2010, late 2010. And you could hear the trauma in her voice and how she tried to get justice for her son, but the city of Memphis used their goons and scare tactics to run her and her family out of Memphis in fear of their lives. And Larry Payne was just, I think, 16, about to be 17 years old. And Dr. King reached out to the mama and said, look, he gave his condolences. He said, I will see you next week when I'm in Memphis. So that was Thursday, March 28th, 1968. And then April the 4th, 1968, on Thursday, they killed Dr. King at the Lorraine Motel. He was just 39 years old. And the thing about it is, that cop lived a long time, the one that killed Larry Payne. He lived a long time. But the powers that think they be told the family that he passed on. He passed on years ago. You know, he didn't pass on years ago. Matter of fact, he was able to work in law enforcement for decades in different places. And he passed right after the MLK 50 observation. I believe he died in 2019 or somewhere like around that time. But he was very much alive. And the powers that think they be protecting him from getting any justice on his assets. They ran this black family out of Memphis, and they are still traumatized. I talked to his sister, Carolyn Payne, from time to time. She's really the torchbearer for his legacy. She try to make sure that the city don't forget every 5 years when they talk about Dr. King, commemorating him. She's out there insisting that you don't forget my brother. If we really learned the lesson on what happened to Larry Payne, Tyree Nichols would never happen. Sonya Massey would not have happened. None of this would have happened. But because we are afraid of our own shadows and got the nerve to criticize our ancestors. I can name a lot of brave ancestors that fought back. Robert Charles, Mark Essex, even Lavelle Mixon. It's sad that people had to lose their lives. You had Gavin Long and Michael Johnson. We scared to talk about them because people, the FBI had pictures of Michael Johnson with Professor Griff and all that. We got scared. And white folks associate with thugs all the time. They got gangsters. Frank Sinatra took pictures with Carlo Gambino. He was in a picture with Carlo Gambino and Jimmy Fracciano, big time La Cosa Nostra cash. And Frank Sinatra had a big old smile on his face. But yeah, y'all talking about Young Thug and them and Rico trial. Frank Sinatra in this day and age would have been in Rico trial. This man went to Cuba with the Fischetti brothers. These are Al Capone cousins. He went to Cuba, Havana, when they had that big meeting with Lucky Luciano. Y'all talking about, y'all don't believe in snitching. Man, Lucky Luciano, who was the father of the organized crime as we know it today, of the mafia, was one of the biggest snitches. He was like Tekashi 6ix9ine almost. He was snitching on everybody. He got out of prison because he was doing 50 years for white slavery charges and was a black woman. So they don't ever talk about how we so powerful. A black woman named Eunice Collier brought him down. She worked for Thomas Dewey, the DA, that ended up becoming the governor of New York, that ran for president on the Republican ticket back in 44 and 48. But Eunice Collier was one of the first black women to get a law degree or had the license to practice in New York State. Very brilliant woman from Atlanta. But she had the blueprint to bring down one of the most powerful crime bosses in American history. And so he made a deal with the government during World War II to get out of prison. He helped give intel on Italy. He helped protected the waterfronts in America on the East Coast from any type of Nazi sabotage, so they say. So he was able to get out. He got to get out of jail free card. So they had that meeting down in Cuba, I want to say back in 46, maybe early 47, late or maybe 46. But Sinatra was there as the entertainment, and he was like big time gangsters. Sinatra never hid the fact that he was connected. Sam Giancana, who allegedly helped fix the 1960 election for JFK up in Chicago, Illinois, he was close to Frank Sinatra. So the fact that you talking about Young Thug and all this crap, it's weird. It's like what Chris Rock said. He said in one of his stand-ups years ago, he said if cigarettes were produced by a black family with Jerry curls that lived in Mississippi, it'll be illegal as an MFer to smoke a cigarette. Because if black folks benefit from it, then it's a crime. When white folks do it, it's called generational wealth. When black folks do it, it's called crime. When white folks do it, it's business as usual. Like Joe Kennedy, the patriarch of the Kennedy family, said, it's not a crime unless you get caught. I think they said he said that. It's not a crime unless you get caught. And case in point, Joe Kennedy was the first chairman of the Securities Exchange Commission on Wall Street. And he was appointed by Franklin Roosevelt. And Franklin Roosevelt advisors and supporters said, why would you appoint him to that position? He was like the king of inside trading. He benefited from the Wall Street crash of 1929 and all this. He said, well, it takes a crook to catch a crook. That's what FDR told his people. It takes a crook to catch a crook. And Joe Kennedy said, allegedly, that it's not a crime unless you get caught. That's how baseball works, right? So actually, the Springfield race riot of 1908 consisted of events of mass racial violence committed against African Americans by a mob of about 5,000 white Americans and European immigrants in Springfield, Illinois. Between August 14th and 16th, 1908, 2 black men had been arrested as suspects in a grape. Just remove the G, because they like to penalize people for just speaking truth. An attempted grape and unaliving. The alleged victims were 2 young white women and the father of one of them. When a mob seeking to lynch the men discovered the sheriff had transferred them out of the city, the whites fiercely spread out to attack black neighborhoods, murder black citizens on the streets, and destroy black businesses and homes. The state militia was called out to quell the rioting. The riot trials and aftermath are said to be one of the most well-documented examples of the complex intersection of race, class, and criminal justice, or just us, in the United States. In 2008, an NPR report on the centenary of the race riot said that the fact of its taking place in a northern state, specifically in the land of Lincoln, demonstrated that black people were mistreated across the country, not just in the South, and described the event as a proxy for the story of race in America. At least 17 people died as a result of the riot, 9 black residents and 8 white residents who were associated with the mob, 6 of whom were killed by crossfire or state militias, and 2 who died by suicide. It was misreported for decades that only militia was responsible for white deaths and that more whites than black people had died. Personal and property damage suffered overwhelmingly by black people amounted to more than $150,000, approximately $4 million in 2018, as dozens of black homes and businesses were destroyed, as well as 3 white-owned businesses of suspected black sympathizers. As a result of the rioting, numerous black people left Springfield, but it is unclear how many moved away permanently. Although in the following months, over 100 riot-related indictments were issued and some pleaded guilty to minor violations, only 1 alleged rioter went to trial and conviction for lesser offenses. Of the 2 accused black men who were the initial focus of the lynch mob, 1 was eventually tried, convicted, and hanged. The other was set free. Near the 100th anniversary in 2008, the city of Springfield erected historical markers and a memorial statue. The riot was a catalyst for the formation of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or the NAACP, organized to work on civil rights for African Americans. So you go. This led to the NAACP being formed in 1909, February 12th, 1909. And the riot happened on Black August, right? We call it Black August. That's another Black History Month. I recognize Black August. So many revolutionary things and people happened in Black August. And I'm sure the number of black people that actually died was way higher than what they said, died. And I think about Tulsa, and I don't call them race riots. I call them race massacres. Because a riot is like when you see them white people get mad when their team win or lose. They go out in the streets, set things on fire, turn over cars. Massacre is when you try to commit systemic genocide, when you openly commit systemic genocide and is endorsed by the system. That's white state-sponsored terrorism. That's state-sponsored white terrorism. And this is not Project 2025. This was 1908. So they've been doing this for a long time. Y'all keep Project 25. And the thing about it is too, let me see. This is what this woman was killed. I just hope this is like a powder keg, folks, because you got how convenient to have her die like this. And then they have the Democratic convention up in Chicago, and black folks are restless in Chicago. I ain't talking about the gangsters and the gang banging. I'm talking about just good people who have been shorted by the system for decades and decades and decades. In the words of the great Fannie Lou Hamer, sick or tired of being sick and tired. We're gonna have to have a reckoning. And a lot of y'all, the reason why y'all don't want to come to that realization because y'all too dependent on a system that don't give a damn. You know, we could always have better if we want better, but we don't want better. Like when y'all complain about the presidential candidates, whether it be Biden or Kamala Harris or Donald Trump or whoever, y'all say, man, these are clowns. Don't you know that they represent us? Don't you realize that we get the leadership that we deserve? So when you see clowns up there, that's a mirror looking back at us. We the clown. Because we don't get it. You know what I'm saying? The world's a stage. Everybody's acting. So everything's staged, right? But man, we got to start talking about this stuff seriously. Because it's having generational consequences. And God bless the memory of Sonya Massey. May her death be not in vain, but we haven't learned from Sandra Bland. We still don't have answers about how Sandra Bland really died. We have nobody. Reverend A.L.L Sharpton probably gonna be all over this. You got Ben Crump. I like Ben Crump, actually. He's like a decent guy. I met him a couple times. And I think he's necessary for this time. Like Ben Crump was made for this time. So people get mad, you know, why he's the one, he's not the most this and that. But he's the person for this time. God has anointed Ben Crump as the dude for this situation. But with A.L.L Sharpton, I don't really care for because like I said, he's like that William Macy character in the movie The Cooler that came out years ago. It's a good movie. It's about this dude that worked at a casino. When a person's on a winning streak, they'll send William Macy character to the table to cool them off, to make them get on a bad streak, you know, and take you off the winning streak, make you on a bad streak. To me, A.L Sharpton is calling situations to cool things out. He talking about no justice, no peace. As long as he get him a piece, he don't care about no justice. As long as he get a piece of it. See, they ran the wrong person out of Ferguson. They should have ran Jesse Jackson. They should have ran A.L Sharpton out of Ferguson, not Reverend Jesse Jackson. But my thing, I don't have no issue with A.L Sharpton, but realize that A.L Sharpton had access to the White House for 8 years and did nothing for black people. He get all this money and fame and recognition. He's doing people eulogies he never heard. He never met. How you gonna do a eulogy for a person you don't even know? How you do eulogies for people she used to like to eat church's chicken and play Uno. She just loved Uno, I mean, that's weird. We are weird. But then I look at us, I don't know the sister like that, but she had a strong faith. She had a strong discerning spirit. She knew what she was seeing, and the proof is in the pudding. How she was treated. She said, I rebuke you in the name. She knew she was dealing with a demon. And you look at him on camera, he don't come out that well on camera. I don't see how they allow this man to be a law enforcement officer, how he was able, but they think about Mike Brown. Darren Wilson, nothing happened to Darren Wilson. That was on Obama's watch. The federal department, the Department of Justice did nothing to Darren Wilson for killing Mike Brown. They did nothing. He got a job somewhere else. There's a dude that killed Tamir Rice. He got a job somewhere else. The dude that killed their brother Crawford, what's his name? Crawford. Was it Ohio? Oh, I said Crawford shooting. Look this stuff up. There's so much stuff, but this happened under the Democrats' watch. Yeah, John Crawford. It was right before Mike Brown, John Crawford. The killing of John Crawford III occurred on August 5th, 2014. Crawford was a 22-year-old African-American man shot and killed by a police officer in a Walmart store in Beaver Creek, Ohio, near Dayton, while he was holding a BB gun. See, this is not even the Deep South. Sister got killed in Illinois. Mike Brown down in Ferguson, outside of St. Louis, Missouri. And this brother got killed in Ohio just days before Mike Brown. And this is not Project 2025. This is Project 2014. So he was killed in Walmart while he was holding a BB gun that was for sale in the store. The shooting was captured on surveillance video and led to protests from groups including the NAACP and the Black Lives Matter movement. Okay. Sad stuff. And then what was crazy too, what happened to his baby mama, man, how they treated her, how the law treated her. They try to break that woman down. And she was very traumatized from what happened to her and what happened to a man, and then how they treated her, like she was a criminal. And then she died crazy. She died in a crazy car accident, going high speed. Her and the dude crashed out, and she died. She got like a Final Destination death. Y'all can look that up. But she was I would say, a targeted individual. Like, I don't know what they targeted her, and she was dead not that long after he died. You know, got killed in a crazy car accident. Y'all can look that up. I just, a lot of this stuff is just coming to me because, like, y'all talking about Trump, Agent Orange is going to breed death and destruction to Black people. But like that song said, self-destruction. You had it for self-destruction. Remember that rap song back in the day before they destroyed rap music and replaced it with gangster rap and mumble rap and all that trap rap? Rap used to be about unity. Rap was the reason why Malcolm X got reintroduced to our younger generations. It was rap that brought Malcolm X back to the masses. So it was rap sampling Malcolm X's speeches using James Brown beats. So you trying to tell me that Black folks didn't invent hip hop? Black Americans didn't invent the rap thing? Black folks been rapping. Cab Calloway, shit, Louis Armstrong. You look at those groups from the 40s and the 50s. We been rapping. Muhammad Ali was rapping. So the thing about it is that, we don't even know how Sandra Bland, what brand of garbage bag was used to hang Sandra Bland. So I don't know what this Sonya Massey going to do. I could predict, it's going to be hot. It's getting hotter now. We might have some unrest in the streets, but why? Because they know it's like, remember like when a sports team wins a championship, people will riot, not just Black people, it will be white people, a lot of white people. They'll tear up stuff. And the police wouldn't do anything. They'll allow them to tear up things because they got all this energy and they got to express themselves because this is all they got. Because our people, we don't have anything. It's like when the NFL draft was in Detroit, they had like almost close to 200,000 people in the streets for the NFL draft. Julius Caesar said, give them bread and circuses. They won't complain. They won't protest. They won't rebel. Keep them distracted. Football ain't gonna free us. Your football team winning the Super Bowl ain't gonna liberate you. Your favorite artist winning album of the year for the Grammys ain't gonna liberate you. Liberation don't come from court justice. No disrespect. I don't get political advice from comedians. I mean, Dick Gregory, even he probably will be disappointed in my viewpoint right now. So I don't get political advice from comedians. I'm sorry, I don't care. I'm not looking for what D.L. Hughley or Steve Harvey, no disrespect, or Ricky Smiley. I don't really care. Just make me laugh. I don't care about your political input because good to us as a people. Because it's good that you make it, that you made the American dream, but your people suffering. Somebody I would respect an opinion from would be somebody like Paul Robeson. And then now when I say the name Paul Robeson among Black people, who is Paul Robeson? Look him up. He's somebody that actually sacrificed his health, his wealth, his career for Black people and for people all over the world. And I'm tired of people trying to think that Black artists should be the ones always carrying the load for everybody else. Yeah, it's good that what's his name? That dude that beat Kendrick for best new artist or best rap album back in the day. I forgot his name. Y'all know who I'm gonna look at it. But he did this song about what was going on in the Gaza Strip, whatever, Gaza, with Israel and Palestine. It was good. I love it. It was good. I like it. It was hard. Macklemore, right? Is his name Macklemore, the white rapper from the Pacific Northwest. But Kendrick Lamar ain't Malcolm X. He ain't Dr. King. He ain't Whitney Young. He ain't even Minister Farrakhan. He's an entertainer that's very aware, and he does his job in terms of having double, triple, quadruple meanings for lyrics and verses and bars and all that stuff. He's very well read. He's very well read, but I don't expect him to liberate me. I don't expect Beyonce by her, twerking on Meg Thee Stallion twerking is going to free my people like Harriet Tubman. I don't expect these things from people just to be entertainers and a distraction. Because as they twerking, the world is burning. As they twerk, the world is burning. Rome is on fire. We are in World War III, and a lot of y'all don't even know that, because as long as you can look at P Valley and watch football and basketball and whatever you like to watch and go to Top Golf and all this stuff, nothing wrong with it. As long as you eat your Popeye chicken sandwich, it's like all these little creature comforts. As long as you got that, then you ain't worried about what's happening. Because y'all talk about Project 2025. I'm talking about Project Now. What's happening now? What's happening, man? What's going on? Say Kamala ain't gonna help us, because Kamala already showed her true colors. She's not like us. She's not like us. She's not like us. I'm not gonna celebrate her if she become president. And it's not a personal thing, but it is kind of personal because I look at how she treat my people. Don't ever compare her to Rosa Parks or Harriet Tubman or Sojourner Truth. She haven't earned that. Don't say she's Mary McLeod Bethune. I got a problem with black leadership. I do, because black leaders told black folks to vote for Woodrow Wilson, right? You saw what Woodrow Wilson did. He was like Joe Biden on steroids, whatever. And then it was, the Negro Project with Margaret Sanger. So Planned Parenthood. You think about, when I hear black people talking about, oh man, we need another Malcolm X. We need another Ida B. Wells. You can't get it if you keep on deleting our people. We won't get, they're trying to come back. The ancestors are trying to come back, but we deleted millions of babies. I said we deleted millions of babies. Fannie Lou Hamer was like the 20th child of her parents. Malcolm was the 7th child of his father. What if he just said, the hell with it, delete them? We would have no Malcolm X. We wouldn't have a Fannie Lou Hamer. It's like everything. That's like, why are we so invested in destroying our future? You talking about some Project 2025. You got Project 2025 happening right now between your legs. They do things to our food, to our water, our air, to sterilize, to make us not reproduce. This is why they fighting so hard, because like everything they do to us, it come back on them. They wage a war on drugs. Joe Biden passed his crime bills. And look at his son. Look at his son. You did all this stuff to destroy black people. We still standing. We still here. You did everything to destroy black people, and we still here. We're magical Negroes, but we got to be magical Negroes for our own self-determination, not nobody else's bidding. What I'm saying is Joe Biden got all that back. You got white folks ODing on opioids and McDonald's out in East Memphis. They don't talk about it on the news. I talked to police officers, say, you know what? We get a lot of call of overdoses at McDonald's out there in Cordova, Collierville, whatever. But they don't talk about it on the news. They always talk about what some black person doing. But they never talk about what the white people doing and how they catching hell. You got them white folks out in Philly on that train. They turn into like living zombies, night of the living dead, nights of the living baseheads. Look up what they do on that train, whatever the hell they taking that's making them to zombies and stuff. They doing all this stuff in real time. And you got the nerve to talk about Trump is a Hitler. Hitler would never conceded in 2020 or 2021. Hitler would never give up power. Stalin would never have gave up power. The way Donald Trump, he eventually let things go the way they went, even though he knew they cheated him, and they may cheat him again, because I don't see nobody. I mean, I talk to women, black, white, Asian, whatever. A lot of women don't want no woman president. It's not that the men don't want a woman president. It's just women don't like working for women bosses. Women tell me I can't stand a woman boss because they do this and that. Because this is a man's world. And the thing, it's like what Gerald Ford said, the president, he said, the only way a woman might become president is going to be like some type of untraditional way where the man dies in office and she takes over. Because she's not going to win a vote Not in this mind. Now they making it, people don't understand about the Trump thing. It's like, cause politics is about popularity, right? Trump is very polarizing, right? But Trump, he's a man. He acts like a traditional old school caveman. Like I like to call you guys, this guy that's a man. He cocky, he got swagger, he's confident. Even the way when he got shot, how he responded. Even if you don't like Trump, you gotta respect it. Because I can't imagine Joe Biden responding like Trump. Joe Biden, like, huh? He probably would still be up, standing up, don't know what to do. Huh? I shot myself. Huh? Here, Joe, come on, get on here. Trump like, fight. And the thing about it is, you got to fight. It's like with black people, we need to stop fighting ourselves like the battle royales of the days old. We got to focus our energies and target on the right people and entities. We got to do deep research. Don't let them get you an emotional trick bag. It's like Emmett Till birthday is coming up. And I ain't gonna be on this that long. I'm gonna look at the comments. But y'all can support the stream. Cash App R2C2H2, $R2C2H2. You see all that stuff rolling, scrolling. Also, I'll give out my mailing address. If you want to mail a donation in, do that as well. Buy shirts, whatever. We having a sale, 20% off sale. I think I'm gonna put that in the social medias. You get a shirt, 20% off. I think the last day is July 27th. But I just want to make sure I did the stream. But like the Emmett Till thing, Carolyn Bryant passed away, I believe. Was that last year? Carolyn Bryant, the woman that got Emmett Till killed, passed away. See, white women encouraged their men to lynch black people. White women were the one who raised money for those Confederate monuments. White women are the biggest beneficiaries of affirmative action and DEI. You had the Secret Service lady just resigned. She was a DEI hire. And you look at Sarah Palin, who was the vice presidential candidate for the Republican ticket back in 2008. That's a DEI hire. You know what I'm saying? They want to make you feel bad as black people that you don't have what they got, but they don't give us nothing. They always trying to take stuff from us, and we got to fight to have anything. When they say they don't want to be with us, they'll say, fine, we'll build Black Wall Street. Oh, man, that's too nice for y'all. It's too good for y'all to have that. We're going to have to destroy that. It's fascinating, man, the times we live in. It really is. But like Kamala Harris, I'm not feeling the symbolism of her. If you're going to fool black Americans, give us a real black American, a black American that was born in Memphis or Mississippi or Chicago, Detroit, with black parents. Obama, if he had a white wife, y'all would not have voted for Obama. Ain't no way in hell black people would support Obama. They already were saying back in 2008 he wasn't black enough. And if he had a white wife, anything but a black woman, he went, and he was smart enough to get not only a black woman, but a black woman from the South Side of Chicago, highly educated, with black parents. He knew exactly the game he was playing. So why is it okay that Kamala could not only have a non-black husband, but also don't even take his last name, not even a hyphen? That's President Imhoff. That's the future President Imhoff. Yeah, Harris Imhoff, whatever. But Kamala is a comedian. She cosplays black, Negro. And then she's like Indian, Jamaican. Jamaican don't mean black. People keep on saying, oh, she Jamaican. I mean, no, it's some white Jamaicans, it's Chinese Jamaicans, it's Indian Jamaican. It's a country. It's like saying, everybody that's American is black or white, whatever. No, we different colors. So what I'm saying is her daddy does not identify as a black person. They are people of color. Her mom, I believe her mom on her, I don't know, they had posted this years ago. When was that? Kamala. Her mom is not classified as a person of color. I think she's classified as white. On some document, they showed her listed as a white person. What people don't understand is all this black, brown unity and crap. A lot of people you think are color people, they are classified as white people. Don't you think it's interesting to look at the rise of the Indian politician? Like that Swami guy, very well spoken, first generation American. already achieve and live in the American dream. But yeah, his people just came over here. He's a first generation American, right? Living the dream. Very intelligent dude. I don't know too much about him, but the things I have learned and seen of him recently, and he gets to be president within one generation of his folks coming out the boat. Where is our president that come from where we come from? It ain't Barack. It ain't Kamala. They don't have the same story. They hijack our story, but they don't have our story. They do the Hollywood rewrites to our story, and we allow for that foolishness to go on. And it's our fault. Don't blame no Project 2025. Don't blame no Agent Orange for us not doing what we have to do to vet these people that are supposed to represent us as Black people. We went from Jesse Jackson, who's from South Carolina. Jesse from South Carolina. He was a real Black candidate. Dick Gregory was Black. St. Louis, Missouri. Black parents. Ran on the ticket, I think a Freedom Party ticket back in '68. Allegedly got 9 million votes in Pennsylvania, and then said it was a mechanical error. This is back in 1968. It is possible that Dick Gregory could have won the 1968 presidential election, but it's a selection. And I think about what Bobby Dick was saying about there'll be no election in the year 2016. And what it was he was 8 years too early. There may not be an election this year. I'm not saying that it won't be. It may not. You think about what's happening. Think about all the stuff that have happened in the last week or 2 weeks. Like all this stuff that's going on. Attempted assassinations. The head of the Secret Service resigning. Biden not seeking a re-election term. We don't even know if Biden's still breathing. He got some type of illness. Nobody haven't seen Biden. He be on phone call, but they got this AI technology. You got deep fakes, and you got these people like Dick Gregory talking about 2 Trumps. There are 2 Trumps. You got body doubles. We don't know who we looking at. We don't know who we looking at because Biden has deteriorated so much, even from 2020 and 2019. I mean, he's this is sad, man. It's like his elder abuse. I don't have no ill will towards the man, but let's hold him accountable for the 50 years of hell he has wreaked on Black people. And you got these Black folks that are loyal to the Democratic Party, don't even know what the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party was about. Look at the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party from '64. Y'all think that y'all earned this easy. You had our ancestors that blood, sweat, and tears. And a civil rights generation, I call a lot of them the civil wrongs. They meant well, but we need more than just symbolism. We need some substance. We need substance now. And our people are starving for lack of information. We are starving from lack of direction and leadership. And, what's a girl named, not girl, but Representative Crockett, right? Well, Jasmine Crockett, she's from St. Louis. She actually went to school in Memphis, the Rose College, very prestigious private college. She probably learned how to check from going to school in Rose from Memphis, because Memphis, we known for our checking or playing the dozens. Nobody plays the dozens or check like Memphis folks. And so that was a nice, catchy little trending meme or whatever she did when she insulted Marjorie Taylor Greene, Marjorie Greene Taylor, whatever her name is, the white lady from Georgia, representative. And it was funny what she said. It reminded me of my days of substitute teaching in the Memphis city schools at the time. Them kids were they go off for you just like that. And my thing is, where is our Marjorie? What's her name? Is it Marjorie Taylor Greene? Where is our Marjorie Taylor Greene in terms of one thing about her? She represents her people's interests. Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene. She represents, because they talk about the white replacement theory. You look up the white replacement theory. She advocates for white people, working class white folks. She's an advocate for them. Where is the advocate for Black people? Working class Black people, poor Black people, Black people, Black people, Black people. Or who advocates for us in Congress? Nobody. No, none of them. They'll advocate for Israel. They'll advocate for Asians, but not for Black people. We have no friends. So why are y'all so loyal to a plantation party? who have exploited us for decades. The only reason, because black folks used to vote Republican, right? I'm trying to think. I think the turning point, reason why a lot of black people started voting Democrat, I mean, I guess the New Deal with Franklin Roosevelt, but also if you look at 1960 election, Dr. King was in a prison work camp down in Georgia. Coretta was in fear that he might lose his life, that they'll probably kill him in that prison, that worked that prison camp. And she reached out, people reached out to Kennedy and Nixon. I believe Jackie Robinson was a Republican, the famous baseball player, civil rights hero, whatever. He was trying to get Richard Nixon to get Dr. King out of that situation. And the Kennedy people reached out to Harry Belafonte because they wanted him to represent their interests in the black community, be one of their surrogates, whatever, supporters, and advocate for the Kennedys or JFK in the black community. And I think he told them something to the fact that I'm not the person for that. The right person is in a prison camp down in Georgia about to be killed. You need to get him out of jail, get him out of prison. And the Kennedy people got him out. And I think JFK made a call to Coretta to ask her about how she, how she was doing, Martin, and all that stuff. And Jackie Robinson begged Richard Nixon to do the same thing. And Richard Nixon was a sitting U.S. vice president. He was a vice president, one of the most popular presidents of all time, Dwight D. Eisenhower, leader of the Supreme Allied Forces during World War II. He commanded over he had the largest military in world history. He was over millions of people. And they say he used to be called the general. Like he didn't really care to be called a president when he retired or when he left the office. He preferred that people address him as the general. There was JFK, you call for advice. He said, I'm going to speak to the general. But he didn't do it. And Jackie Robinson, they said, cried like a baby. He said, you just don't get it. You just don't get it, man. It's kind of like, I remember a story of Adlai Stevenson. I talk about Adlai Stevenson, the governor of Illinois, who was the Democratic nominee for president back in 52 and 56. I think he was at a thing with Eleanor Roosevelt, the former first lady of another very popular president, Franklin Roosevelt. And I believe there was at an event, they had a lot of black people. I believe it was in New York, maybe Harlem. And he was campaigning. And I believe he didn't know what to say to black people at this event. And Adlai Stevenson was kind of like he reminded me of Al Gore. He was very, very he had a big brain. He was a big brain, an egghead type of dude. He became an ambassador to the UN for JFK, very pivotal in the Cuban Missile Crisis, the negotiations and stuff. So he was a very intelligent dude, accomplished, governor of Illinois. And he said, I don't know what to say. And then I think Eleanor Roosevelt said, if you don't know what to say, I don't know what to tell you. If you don't know what to do, I don't know what to tell you. You're supposed to be a leader. And she didn't say, you're supposed to be a leader of people. You're supposed to be able to govern all types of people that represent your constituency, but you don't know how to relate to them or talk to them. I can't help you with that. And so he didn't, he lost in 52 and 56. And this is not about a white savior. People get that wrong. This is about, you look at Donald Trump, he's in the art of making deals. We need people that bring something to the table for him to make a deal on. He had the platinum plan. He was willing to roll that out the second term for Black Americans, specifically for Black Americans. There is nothing for Black people, Black Americans. There's things for immigrants, legal and illegal immigrants. There are things for women, in particular white women. There are things for the rainbow people. There are things for Asian people. There are things for Hispanic people. There's nothing but grief, excuses, and broken promises for Black people, because we don't hold ourselves accountable to a higher standard. We should make them people buy our vote. Stop giving away our vote, buy our vote. Instead of just sitting out, make them buy. We got to start running our own candidates. We run our own candidates for office, it'll solve a lot of problems. These are candidates that we vet. Don't give us Barack Obama establishment, Goldman Sachs. They're because you gave them the most money than any other entity in the 2008 election. He's going to answer to the entity or people that gave him the most money. So he was beholden to Goldman Sachs. That's why you look at the Supreme Court justices that he appointed, they all Goldman Sachs connected. Just like his Secretary of Treasury, Timothy Geithner, who didn't pay his taxes, who had illegals working from him, I think. He didn't pay his taxes, yet he's the Secretary of Treasury. It's because he's Goldman Sachs. The Democratic Party sold out the labor movement under the Clinton administration. They betrayed the labor movement for Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs was running things in the Democrat and Republican parties. So this is something you could just do a quick look, because people are, well, Bill Clinton balanced the budget and he had a surplus, but it was by cutting benefits from black people. That's how he balanced the budget. When he was running for president, he allowed for the state execution of a retarded black man. This guy had mental handicap, severe mental handicap. And Bill Clinton, while he was governor of Arkansas, while he was running for office, the highest office in the land, did not intervene. They could have commuted this man's sentence to life in prison, but he was okay with killing a mentally disabled man. And Jesse, who was he was a man in body, but he had a child mind. Y'all can look this up. And Jesse Jackson begged Bill Clinton to spare this man's life. Now, it was awful what he did. He killed a police officer, I believe, who was a friend of his family. The family wanted the police officer to help him. There was something going on with him, and he tried to intervene, and he ended up killing the police officer. It was a white police officer, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And he was sentenced to death. And Jesse felt like it wasn't right. See, we ain't even hell with Jesse Jackson. Like, Jesse's sick, he's around, but I'm saying like a Jesse in his prime. You know, whatever we think about Jesse, we make jokes about Jesse. He did a lot of good for our people. We just don't honor our people like we did Gregory. People say, I won't put up with what he was doing to you. I mean, it was traumatizing to a certain degree. But if you know his story, getting his ass whooped, getting beat up, jailed, getting blackballed, all this to help humanity, to help black people in particular, and humanity in general, I give him a pass, because I know he's an OG. We don't even have that respect no more for our real elders and for ourselves, because we don't know our story. We waiting for TMZ, we waiting for MSNBC, we waiting for BET, or all these places that black folks don't control and own to tell our story for us. And it's a damn shame. So what I'm saying is, Kamala should be held to the fire, because she was a top cop in California. She flaked on the people, on the family of Matrice Richardson. Look up Matrice Richardson. Basically, Kamala laughed in the family face, because it was her people that probably killed her. I mean, people in law enforcement, because why would they let a mentally troubled person out at midnight when the family told them, let us know when y'all want to release her, we'll come and pick her up. She was in Malibu. And y'all think about California. California got some of the biggest white supremacists in the world. A lot of white supremacists, talking about Nazis, they live, you know, when the Nazis were coming over here, Operation Paperclip, a lot of them settled in Orange County, one of the wealthiest counties in America. That where Kobe Bryant helicopter went down. So a lot of, you got a lot. I've been to California a couple of times. That racism out there is different. I'm from the South. I went out the East and some South and the Midwest and the Pacific Northwest, but Cali racism is a different animal, boy. California racism is a different breed. It's something else. But anyway, man, we gotta get serious about stuff, man. We gotta get serious about stuff. We gotta hold Kamala, because we let Eric Holder. See, y'all talking about that Trump stuff. It bothers me that y'all don't hold people like Obama accountable for the Trayvon Martin thing, the Jordan Davis thing, the Tamir Rice thing, John Crawford, Sandra Bland. He had a black attorney general saying that if the nation doesn't address the issue of racism, we're a nation of cowards. And yet Trump is just the problem. It's weird, and I'm not gonna let you shut me down either, black people, because I realize, you look at history, a lot of times the people that stand up for us and try to help us, we don't like at the time. We despise, we belittle, we don't support. And I'm going to speak out because I want be able to speak out like y'all be speaking out for Kamala and Harris and then with your Chuck and Pearls. You know, Black Boule don't like me. I'm not Black Boule. I come from people that could be considered Black Boule, but I'm a rebel. I ran away. I ran off the plantation, and I'm being punished for it, but God got me. The ancestors got me. But when I'm telling y'all, if the biggest thing could come up talking about, we won't give women the right to kill their babies or delete their fetuses. I don't want to. Women should, have autonomy over their bodies, but think about it. That is not good for your body. Your body works the way it's supposed to work, and when you do intercourse and things happen, but what they do to your body, they wreck the inside of your body. Abortions, look at what they do for abortions. Look at the abortion process, what happened to the body. A lot of females that want babies later on in life, they can't have no kids because their womb is destroyed on purpose. Fannie Lou Hamer was the 20th child of her parents. She wanted children, and the state of Mississippi sterilized her. They took away her ability to reproduce, and she wanted children, and she was number 20. So don't tell me about why we haven't made another Malcolm. I just told you why we haven't had another Malcolm. We killed Malcolm again and again and again. He kept on trying to come back. Fannie Lou Hamer just kept on trying to come back. We keep on killing him. So all I'm saying is get out their way, let them come in. And the reason why we feel it's okay to do that to our babies is because we have no real community. We have no village. The village been burnt down decades ago, generations ago. The village went away when we thought we could play with white people and live with white people and eat at white people restaurants. We thought we made it once we could, be with white people. And so one thing white people did do for us, they forced us to deal with each other through that period known as Jim Crow. And we had institutional control. We don't even have banks no more, Black-owned banks to the level, I'll say like this, and I think I'm going to end it. I could talk all night. But you look back in the 60s, our biggest victories didn't come because white people helping us, because college students coming down south to educate poor Black people. Our biggest victories came when we dealt with each other and that we gave each other institutional support. I'm going to make this quick story and I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to look at the comments and stuff like I like to talk. Mississippi freedom movement back in the 50s and 60s. Black people were really strong in Mississippi. People think about Mississippi. We had some scary Black people everywhere, not just Mississippi, but you had a lot of strong Black folks in Mississippi too now. They y'all look at the Regional Council of Negro Leadership, the RCNL. This was an annual conference in Mound Bayou. Mound Bayou, one of the first Black towns in the nation, a proud Black town. They used to have this Regional Council of Negro Leadership meeting. Be 10,000 plus Black people from around the region would come to Mound Bayou. And what they was doing, they was encouraging Black businesses, Black people to be entrepreneurs and also get involved in the political process, the register to vote and things like that. So you would have a keynote speaker would be somebody like Thurgood Marshall, somebody like Representative Reverend Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Entertainment would be somebody like Mahalia Jackson. And one of the key figures in this was Dr. T.I.M. Howard. He was a surgeon in Mound Bayou. He was a wealthy Black doctor. Some people say he was the wealthiest Black man in Mississippi when he was living there. He had a lot of money. He helped finance the first public swimming pool for Black people in Mississippi. He ran the clinic, the doctor clinic. He was a surgeon. And he was a wealthy man. He's a big game hunter. Had a beautiful wife. There was a wife that was a part of the Black Los Angeles elite. His wife, he met his wife. He went to school out in California. And so he lives in Mississippi. And he's very vocal Black man. Refused to be quieted down. Very proud Black man. Had multiple businesses. He gave Medgar Evers one of his first jobs coming out of college as an insurance agent for his insurance company. Matter of fact, he's credited with training Medgar Evers and his brother Charles Evers, as well as inspiring Fannie Lou Hamer, getting them all motivated to get involved in movement work. And Dr. Howard was interested because he wasn't no coward or nothing like that. He was a very polarizing figure. He had security detail for himself. But the thing about Dr. Howard, he had secrets on white people. One thing about him I don't really care for is the fact that he was willing to give people deletion options. You know what deletion is. I talked about it, the A word, right? And I think what helped him a lot, I think he performed those services for white families as well, too, especially elite white folk. So he had access to that world as well. And he's the person, he's one of the reasons why we know about the Emmett Till situation, because he actually financed the investigation into the Emmett Till murder. And he was able to find like close to a dozen people that was involved in the Emmett Till murder. He was able to locate witnesses. And when Mammy Till came for the trial of the brothers who killed Emmett Till, she stayed with Dr. Howard. He had round the clock security, black men with guns. He knew how to use a gun. And Mammy would say years later that she felt so protected and safe at Dr. Howard's mansion or place of where he lived. Like I think Representative Charles Diggs from Michigan, U.S. Representative Charles Diggs, another powerful black man, he stayed with Dr. Howard as well. And so it was a situation where the Mississippi government, the Mississippi Sovereignty Commission, the White Citizens Council, see, the Mississippi government was basically like a white supremacist organization at that time. And they were looking at all these black people getting woke. Like woke is the new N word. They were getting woke. They were getting involved. They were getting engaged. He said, we're going to shut them down. They basically told the banks in Mississippi, do not lend these folks any money for their farms and for their businesses. Like, don't give them any loans to help finance their businesses. Shut them down. Let them bleed out. So they'll try and destroy the movement by destroying black economics. They'll try and destroy the movement by destroying black economics. And so what they did, the NACP and the people I'll talk about, they got with the Tri-State Bank, which was a black-owned bank in Memphis. And Tri-State gave them the loans to help them keep their businesses going. Tri-State Bank. And Tri-State, I think it's called something else. It's not even black-owned no more, I know that. But even Dr. King in his speech in Memphis, April 3rd, 1968, his last speech, he talked about dealing with black businesses, black insurance companies, black banks. He said boycott Wonder Bread, Hart's Bread, Coca-Cola, places they'll take your black dollars but won't give you what Joe Biden them say, black jobs. Okay, so listen to that mountaintop speech, because don't let them tell you what the mountaintop speech was. Dr. King would sound like a black nationalist. He would sound like Marcus Garvey in that last speech he did, and that's why they killed him. But anyway, I say all this to say, so if where is that type of support today? Like Magic Johnson, when he got his Freedom Award from the Civil Rights Museum, it's back in I think it was 2009. I'm not mistaken, because John Hope Franklin died not too long after that. Maybe it was 2008 or something like that. But Magic Johnson spoke to some kids at a forum for the Freedom Awards, and he said something that was very powerful. He said, we have more millionaires, black millionaires today than we did in 1960, but we had more black businesses in 1960s than we do today. And everybody know the key to the American dream is controlling having economic self-determination. Like you look at the rise of the Indian politician. Kamala Harris is more Indian than black, more Aryan than black. You look at the Swami guy, I can't say it, Vivek, or what is his name, Swami, y'all know what I'm talking about, who ran for the nomination for the Republican Party. You look at even Nikki Haley, she's Indian. Not no reservation Indian, but country of India. The Indian politician has leapfrogged over the black politician, over the Latino, Hispanic politician. And Hispanic politicians, they doing Marco Rubio, the Cuban or something like that. You had the Castro brothers in Texas, who probably should have been on the presidential ticket the last couple of cycles. They didn't make whatever, but the Indian politician has leapfrogged over all these other politicians. And the thing about the Indian is they basically white people. They look dark and brown, but they, you think about, you go to a hotel or motel anywhere in the country. A lot of times it's gonna be a bunch of Indians running it. They all deep in the hospitality business. Just like the other Asians, they deep in the hair care, beauty supply business for black folks. So Indians, they are the king and queen of hospitality business in America. Whether it be a Motel 6 or a Holiday Inn, they run it. Who run it? They run it. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. Because y'all look at people and say, oh, they black or they colored. No, they not. They white. I remember like Black Americans are treated differently from anybody else that looks like us. Y'all do understand that just because you look a certain way don't mean you that. You know, a lot of people don't. He's black. I'm not the black. I'm Dominican. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm anything but black. Don't call me black. I'm African. You know, Dizzy Gillespie. I love Dizzy Gillespie, one of my favorite musicians. Read his autobiography. He talked about the phenomena of a lot of black jazz musicians becoming Muslim or adopting or embracing Islam. He said one of the reasons why they embraced Islam is because, I mean, a lot of them for spiritual reasons, but one of the reasons was because when they went to places in the South or other places around the country, and they used a Muslim name, the white people would assume that they're not American blacks. So they would treat them like honorary whites. You know what I'm saying? If they thought you came from the motherland or somewhere else outside of America, you was not treated like a regular black American. Donald Trump did not invent that. That's America. It's always been Project 2025. You know, you had recently in California, not that long ago in California, where he had the state was sterilizing women prisoners. I talk about Faye Lou Hamer. This happened in California not too long ago. They were sterilizing women in prison. You know who the women were in prison they were sterilizing. So the thing about it is that I'm not going to do anything out of fear. You should not do anything out of fear. Free your mind from the BS. Be yourself always. Show up as you and watch what God can do for you and how he helps other people through you. So this is very important stuff. And like with Sonya Massey, God bless, but she ain't gonna be the last one because we have not learned our lesson. And so, you know, God gonna make us keep on repeating this Groundhog's Day of black terrorism, of black Holocaust until we get the lesson. We have no friends if we're not friends to ourselves. We have no village if we didn't build a village. We don't have a village. If we did not build a village, we don't have it because they could take it at any time. They could eminent domain stuff we did not build or do not own. And even in home ownership, I had some cousins down in Georgia. The government wanted to tear down their neighborhood and build an expressway through that neighborhood. And they did an eminent domain. They've been there for a while, but the government said, look, we want this land. We'll give you market value. We even help you move. But, you know, we're going to get this land. So really for them, they feel like they move on up. You know, they actually got a bigger house, more property. And I guess it worked out for them. But the fact that the government can say at any time that we're going to repossess your land for our means, we'll pay you market value, but you got to get away. You can't, we control this. It's like with Sweetie Pies up in St. Louis. They was right by the VA hospital. And for years, Miss Robbie was fighting the government because they wanted to eminent domain that property and make it a part of the VA. You know, because it was expanding. She was right there. That was like prime property downtown St. Louis in a very good area to be in, near the entertainment district and everything. So, I mean, you see what happened with her son. Eventually, the government got what they want. They got the property, I believe. They got the property. So they got, in the end, they get what they want. So what I'm saying is like ownership is really, is almost an illusion for us because, it's, you know, look at Black Wall Street. Look at a lot of things. Rosewood. Look at a lot of things. Oscarville, which is Lake Lanier now. Sundown towns. Illinois, Atlanta, Lincoln, home of the sundown towns. So it's like what Brother Malcolm X would say, anything south of Canada is Mississippi. Anything south of Canada is the South. What y'all not gonna know about the dirty South, okay? Anyway, thank y'all. Let me see. Check this. Very true. Brother Andre, I do understand a lot of our Indians, but how were they able to get together? They see, we talk about a code. We don't have a code. You know, everybody keep on talking about, look at social media, off code. What's the code? What's the code? I don't know what the code is. These people have a togetherness that we lack as Black people in general, because they were not forced to come here. They were not forced into slavery. They could get access to bank loans that us that been here for generations can't get access to. So credit was invented. I think credit was invented to keep Black folks from having anything, because other countries don't use this weird credit system we use in America. And they would decide to come here, and what they do, they know their mother tongue, they know their people, they save money, they send it back home, they bring people over here, they keep it in the family. When we get some money, we so willing to spread it around and move outside the family. The Rothschilds, they wanted to keep the money in the family so much that they were marrying their relatives. We had uncles marrying their nieces because they wanted to keep that money concentrated in the family, like the royal family, a lot of that, incestual stuff going on, the royal families in general. But what I'm saying is, we don't have a code. We don't have a togetherness, because we don't really, as a people, know who we are. But then also, you look at the thing where you look at Asians, Indians, Vietnamese, Japanese, Chinese, Koreans. They got their little groups within this Asian diaspora, and they got their stuff together. So they know that, you might get somewhere faster, but you could go farther as a group, and like Dr. King told us, he said he has seen the mountaintop, he's seen the vision, he's seen everything, but we as a people shall get to the promised land. And we got to learn how to play team ball. As much as we love football and basketball, we got to learn how to play like them, and got to learn how to play like the Golden State Warriors in their prime, and who else right now, and the Boston Celtics. We didn't learn how to play like them if we're going to win this race thing. It ain't about me listening. You got a choice to move on. See this. According to Biden, the granddaughter, Biden passed away in 2019 or around that time. The Biden we see is a clone and an encrypted person. She said her grandfather has passed away early in his first term. That probably could be true. Smoke and mirrors. The world's a stage. Everybody's acting. It's like we don't even know if Saddam Hussein got killed or hung like they say he did, because Saddam Hussein had body doubles. Same thing with Gaddafi. A lot of world leaders have body doubles. They believe, some people believe Putin is dead. That's not the real Putin. Who knows? Because Dick Gregory said it was two Trumps and they wore different color ties. Shout out to Slauson Girl doing what you do, covert on. Said, okay. I can see it. All right. So, we got a lot to think about. He said, I disagree. I don't think green represents the white working class. Just a white nut job. Even so, she represents them. She advocates for them. She's a representative. They put her in that position, and she's doing right by them. And we put Black people up all the time. They forget about us, man. Name me one Black politician nationwide that really looks out for the interests of Black Americans. I can't think of one. But if you talk about 60 years ago, it was a decent amount of people that represent our interests. Whether it be Freddie Lou Hamer from Mississippi Delta, the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party and what she was doing, whether it be Whitney Young, National Urban League, Roy Wilkins of the NAACP, Dr. King, SCLC, Southern Christian Leadership Conference, Representative Adam Clayton Powell Jr. in Congress, the Rights Reverend, who really was the architect behind the Great Society program. And he really helped create affirmative action and gave the endowment. He started the National Endowment for the Arts. So this is a Black person that was arguably, to me, he's the greatest congressman we ever sent to Congress. He overstood the mission, he completed the mission, and they made sure that they got rid of him and replaced him with Charlie Rangel. They're like Sheila Jackson Lee died not too long ago, and I have no personal ill will towards her. And when I met her, I thought she was a decent person. She was real cool and patient, but she didn't do anything for Black people in Congress. They always talk about studying reparations instead of giving reparations. Jewish people did not have to wait for reparations. Japanese people did not have to wait for reparations. Black folks are constantly being told no. Constantly being told no. Or like Dr. King said, wait. and wait means never. Keep on waiting. But I don't have a problem with her, but she does advocate for her constituents, and we don't have any representation. I'm in the blackest city in America, and we don't even have a black person in Congress representing us. And Steve Cohen, he's cool. He's a nice guy. I have no issues with Steve, but my thing is, where is a black person? This is one of the blackest cities in the country. It's the blackest city in the country. District 9 should be represented by somebody that can do things for the majority of population here, or have our best interest. Hell, well, John Brown, if John Brown was around and he wanted to be a congressman from District 9 in Tennessee, I would vote for John Brown. But we don't really have people that advocate for Black Americans. I'm talking about Black Americans. I'm talking about any other type of Black. I'm talking about Black Americans who could trace their family for generations being here. We don't have that. They'll put blacks in commercials. Don't make people happy. Yeah, because like the thing about it is, people tell me, well, D.L. Hughley said that, Ricky Smiley, Steve Harvey said this and that. They are not, like, no disrespect to them. I'm not saying they're court jesters. They're entertainers. I don't get my walking orders from the entertainers. They are not generals. They're not soldiers. They're not serious people. They're funny people, but not serious people. And I like Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle knows his place. Like he said in one of his specials, he said, man, I'm not out in the streets, but, you know, whatever. I know my role. He knows his role. And like I'm at The Rock, know your role. And I'm not looking up to any entertainer to tell me how to live life and how to get things, how to get liberated, because they're not liberated. They're enslaved. Think about some of these older entertainers. God bless them. You think a lot of them want to be performing at these festivals and stuff like that when they in their 80s and 90s? It depends. Some of them love the performing. But a lot of people struggling. Even the so-called well-known celebrities, a lot of them broke. You saw how Taraji P. Henson was crying last year about not getting paid enough money, and she been in some very popular movies and TV shows like Empire, and she didn't get paid what she felt like she was worth, you know. So, you know, perception is not everything, but for some people, it's the only thing they go by. Nobody should be the CBC, but they sold out years ago. Exactly, because like even Sheila Jackson Lee, it was a congressman that preceded her like a term or two before, named Mickey Leland. And he was, like I said, he was committed to ending world hunger. And also he was committed to helping Africa and Black people in America. And he was assassinated through a plane crash in Africa, in East Africa, back, I believe, 89. Look him up. But we don't talk about people like that serve the people. They put their lives on the line for people. Like I said, Brother Malcolm was brought back by hip hop because, you know, the rappers and the artists were looking for a leader that could inspire them. And the fact that they had to go resurrect a dead man speaks volumes about the state of leadership even in the 80s. When you had a minister, you think about even in hip hop, like with Ice Cube and a couple other rappers, they will sample Minister Farrakhan, even Tupac, or Khalid Muhammad, they will sample him. But I mean, there was a desire, there was a thirst for some type of Black leadership that was in a vacuum. Because even I got a different take on C. Dolores Tucker a little bit. I'm a big Tupac fan, and C. Dolores Tucker was going after Tupac and them, and he talked about it in his lyrics. But the thing about it is, she was confronting the industry and trying to hold them accountable for the music that would degrade Black people, Black women, Black people in general, Black women in particular. She's trying to hold them accountable. But the people that create the music that look like us, look like Black people. I said, like, a lot of people look at this live, whatever, we're not all Black. What I'm saying is they use us to destroy us. When Fannie Lou Hamer got beat up in that Winona jail cell in Mississippi, the sheriff deputies used Black male inmates to beat her up to a pulp. They kept their hands clean. So the enemy will send people that look like you to get rid of you first before you can get to that next level and see the real boss. So we don't have that because C. Dolores Tucker. Now, I appreciate what she was trying to do. It's like with Bill Cosby. Dr. Bill Cosby, he was trying to buy that network. People say, oh, he's a fool. But look at the situation with black culture, so-called black culture. Now, look at the stuff that's on TV and in movies that represent black people. I mean, I'm not saying that they don't exist. We got some black people that act certain ways, but the majority of black people are not thugs. We're not gangsters. Majority of us not hookers or pimps and stuff like that. That's just a microcosm. And everybody got their thugs and hookers and pimps and all that stuff. It's not just black people, but everything that's a problem in American society has to have a black face on it. And that's the problem. It's like with Barack Obama talking down the Morehouse graduates. You know, when they graduate and they the top of the top, they're the best of the best. And you talking down to them like they in a juvenile detention facility. Instead of you doing like Robert Smith, you know, pay off their student loan debt. You was the president of the United States, you could have did something like that. Matter of fact, it was the Democrats that helped stop the ability to student loans through bankruptcy. Democrats. I remember Harold Ford Jr. He was a beige Negro from Memphis, a Ford family. He was part of that. You know, everybody thought that Harold Ford Jr. was going to be the first black president or even the first black senator from Tennessee. That didn't happen. Almost happened. Didn't happen because the white folks ran that commercial. We had that white girl, like a Playboy bunny, said, "Call me Harold," because Harold Ford was known to go into the Hugh Hefner's Playboy mansion. He was on TV shows like Bill Maher's show and other people's shows. Now he's a talking head in the media. And I think he was engaged to a black woman at first. Now he's married to a wealthy white woman, and he's a multimillionaire himself. But, it is what it is, man. We don't have any black leadership. Okay. Yeah, we talked about Sonya Massey. I'm back, man. I'm being like I tell people, go to rumble.com, we all BTV. That's rumble.com/we all BTV. Because like YouTube been censoring me. They've been removing videos that's over 10 years old, removing Dick Gregory interviews, Judge Joe Brown, Dr. Randy Short, and other things, saying that they violate the community guidelines, even though they've been there for 10 plus years. And I look at, how some other channels are allowed to thrive. I mean, they just thriving and booming. And they trying to shut me down. And it was very discouraging at one point. But now I'm being forced by God to grow expand my territory. So I'm on rumble.com/we all BTV. And also you could go to youtube.com/we all BTV too. A lot of videos, like I might end up making this private or deleting this video from We All BTV. I'm starting the process of moving videos off this We All BTV channel and moving into rumble.com. We all BTV, and also to my Patreon, like some of the banned videos. You'll be able to view some of the banned videos and make your own decision. If you pay a small fee, it'll be behind a paywall, whatever. But thank you for Karen. And Sister Duckworth, what it do? How you do? Good to see you. You heard me? Yes, good brother. I'm glad you checked in, man. Yeah, I got caught up, but definitely I want to connect with you because I know you say you was coming through. You probably already been through Memphis already, but I'm gonna give you a call tomorrow. Actually, I'm gonna call you tomorrow, and we could chop it up. Thank you for looking out for me and give me some good advice. We didn't get a chance to meet, but I don't think that's gonna be my last trip to the shop. I definitely want to connect with you. I'll let you know in advance when I'm coming back through there, man. But blessings to you. And I hope you're doing fine, sending amplified blessings and support your way from the most divine. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Coon and Candy ain't even black. How she can be our dream. Rest in peace to the sister in Illinois who was murdered by that SWS. Yes. Or race soldier. Yes. She don't represent us, but they trying to put us, like she didn't even win a primary. I think the last time she ran, she got more dislikes on her Breakfast Club interview than she did likes. She lied about smoking weed and listening to Tupac and Snoop Dogg while she was in college back in the 80s. And them guys didn't cut a record till like, early 90s. Their albums came out in the early 90s, their debut album. So she can't be trusted. She's a chameleon. She's the ultimate politician, actually. She's a chameleon. She's something to everybody and nothing at the same time. And like I said, she's not black because her daddy don't even acknowledge being black. He's Jamaican, does not mean black. She's more Indian than black. And Indians, a lot of them are not considered black, they're considered white. So anyway. The Patriot Act, which is currently going on, is way more dangerous than Project 2025. Exactly. And they got the Patriot Act done because of fear after post 9/11. People were so damn afraid they gave up everything. But to paraphrase Benjamin Franklin, those who do that, they don't deserve freedom. If you give up your freedom because of fear, you don't deserve any freedom. You don't deserve liberty. So this is where we at. We in a post 9/11 Patriot Act world, and you're talking about some Project 2025. You miss me with that. Trump 2024 though. That cop got fired 6 times, something like that. He got fired a whole lot of time in a short period of time. The other day they moved these cops around, like the one that killed Tamir Rice. He got rehired somewhere. The one that killed Mike Brown, Darren Wilson, got rehired somewhere. And the only cops that got punished is the 5 black cops that killed Tyre Nichols in Memphis. To me, I think that's BS. Not because they should be punished because we saw it on camera what they did was horrible, but they should have got the same treatment as the white cops would get. They should have got the benefit of the doubt. They should have had the process respected, the due process they denied Tyre Nichols. They should have had the due process for them, but they decertified them right away. They did not decertify Darren Wilson. And this Grayson dude, they did not decertify. He should not have been able to work with having 2 DUIs. It's an insult. Yeah, y'all talking about Project 2025 going to get police immunity. They already got immunity. Hell y'all talking about? That's why I said, don't like y'all talking about Breonna Taylor and Sandra Bland. We ain't serious about nothing, man. How about them Cowboys, though? And Philando Castile, yeah. Salute. Thank you, Sister R. We love you, man. Blue skies. Blue skies. Okay, I'm about to wrap it up. I think I talk enough. You said Biden wanted out of the White House. Police are out looking for him because he forgot where he lived. Some people say he was never in the White House, that he stayed in somewhere else. He wasn't even in the Oval Office all this time. Like I said, the world's a stage. And like I said, that may not be the original Biden either, like somebody said earlier. That may be somebody else. Brother Marcus Stone, great show, brother. Thank you, Brother Marcus, a real supporter, man. I thank you, man. Your comments really encourage me to keep on keeping on. I'm gonna keep on pushing and producing and pushing, man, because people like you make me motivated to keep on getting up and getting back in the ring and getting back up again. We fall down and we get up. We fall down. Okay, I'm gonna get up, get on up. Okay, thank you, Brother Marcus. Yes, the homeless have carte blanche to do whatever they want, all out in the open. Yep, that's California. They go to Los Angeles, man. Man, they love, man. You could to be homeless in LA. No disrespect. That's like the dream for some people. You got the sun, you sunbathe. They got places where you could stay if you want to stay. You could get you an apartment rent free. Get you some food. I mean, Cali is a different animal, man. He said, Obama Tang is the puppet master. Well, he's an asset. He's a CIA. Obama didn't come from us. He came from the CIA. Y'all should know that if you know anything. And I believe his daddy was Frank Marshall Davis, a black man who was from Kansas and Chicago, Harlem Renaissance poet, activist, union organizer dude. The one he talked about in his book being like a father to him while he was growing up in Hawaii. I believe that's his father. I don't believe it's a king. I live in SoCal, Southern California, and say no thank you to anything California. Yeah, but they get that ticket though, to Kamala and Gavin. Now, Gavin remind me of Kristen Bell from the American Psycho movie. Look him up. Every time I see Gavin Newsom, I'm thinking about the American Psycho. Kristen Bell. It came out in 2000, I think. Yeah, Greg Scopper was the mafia guy, and that story was made up and never happened. Yeah, Greg Scopper was a guy they gave credit to breaking the story about the whereabouts of the bodies of the 3 civil rights workers. This dude was a real piece of work. This guy was a serial killer. You know, he killed a whole bunch of people. And he ended up dying from HIV/AIDS complication. I think he got AIDS, whatever, HIV, AIDS, whatever, through a blood transfusion. This is when they wasn't checking blood like they do now. It's back in the 80s. So this man, I think he even lost an eye or whatever. This man got in shootouts. He killed a whole bunch of people, Greg Scott. Yeah, but even in the movie Mississippi Burning, they portrayed somebody getting tortured by somebody to get the whereabouts of the 3 civil rights workers. But Dick Gregory had a hand in helping solve that case. And like I said, Dick Gregory is like a black Forrest Gump with a brain. I mean, he just be on the scene. He has so many history-making moments in his life. It should be a movie. Or it should be like a mini series, a limited series. But Dick Gregory was and is a very fascinating man, but he had a hand in finding those 3 civil rights workers. And he was the reason why they did Freedom Summer, because Bob Moses, the founder of the Algebra Project, the great Bob Moses, who's a brilliant man, a brilliant teacher, mathematician, he said that the reason why they had Freedom Summer was because they saw what Dick Gregory did in Greenwood, Mississippi back in 1963, with Dick Gregory, I think with the help of Hugh Hefner, brought a plane full of food and supplies to the black folks in Greenwood because they were being punished for like registering to vote. And this during the Kennedy administration, where they cut out food stamps to the black people in the Mississippi Delta in the Greenwood area. And Dick Gregory saw what they did. And this one man brought a plane full of food for the black people down in the Delta in Greenwood. This one person did that. And then Dick Gregory was protesting the Olympics trials in St. Louis back in the mid 60s. So one man protest, you know, and he thought he failed, but several years later, you saw those black men in the Olympics in Mexico did the Black Power salute. Now Trump did it, fight, 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 fight. They did the Black Power salute, and you know they were punished for that. But Dr. Harry Edwards, I believe his name, said he remembered, I think, going to the trials, and he saw Dick Gregory protesting. I believe Dr. Harry Edwards was from East St. Louis. So I think his father, somebody drove him to St. Louis for the Olympic trials, and he saw Dick Gregory protesting the Olympics, you know, all that. So he said that inspired them to organize, you know, and do the Black Power thing. So you don't know what type of impact you have on people. You think that you're not doing anything worthwhile or purposeful. Just like they want to make me think that I'm not reaching people. Evidently, I'm reaching people. That's why they keep on trying to shut me down. If I wasn't reaching people, I wouldn't have no problem. I could put up filth and everything and talk crazy, and I would never get demonetized. I would never lose a lot of things. But anyway, I think that's enough. You said word on the street is Kamala is looking at Cedric Richmond, the one that we got old Joe Biden called boy for her VP pick. Kamala knows black Americans don't rock with her like that, so she's gonna play in some of our face. Yeah, the fact, cause like you gotta think about it. Barack Obama, what would we think about Barack Obama? Barack Obama was very charming, or is a very charming person. He's one of the greatest orators in American history. The man is a brilliant communicator. Now, what he say and what he does and don't do are two different things, but Obama was the package. He had the look, he had the voice, the speaking ability. He was very charming, like a used car salesman. But Kamala, she don't have none of that. She's kind of weird. She be laughing in inappropriate situations. She got a nervous laugh, like she's not comfortable in her own skin. And the fact that they're bringing her out now, she's been hidden all this time. She was like a hidden figure in the Biden administration. But now she's in this media cycle where they just talking about Kamala. Well, I said you got to be careful about the media. The media used to have you loving Trump. Now they're gonna make the American people get brainwashed into loving Kamala. So I don't understand us. A lot of us don't mess with Kamala like that. She didn't even win a primary when she ran back in 2020, but yet she became the VIP pick for the Democratic Party because it's DEI, it's diversity, equality, inclusion. She's the DEI, like Sarah Palin was for John McCain back in 2008. And well, she got a resume. She was the top cop in California, a state attorney general. She was U.S. senator, but she was selected for those roles. Even like dealing with Willie Brown, she played the game. Like, you may think about Kamala Harris, I would say she is a master politician in her own right. I'm not going to shortchange her on that. I just know, but she's not for us. She's not for us. She's not like us. She's not for Black people. Because how she handled the Matrice Richardson or didn't handle that situation was very telling. The fact that she was known for prolonging Black people, in particular Black men's prison sentences. She made her career locking up Black people because she was a prosecutor. She was a career prosecutor. It's like with Fannie Willis. I don't feel sorry for her catching the hell she's catching now. Because look, she built her career incarcerating Black people. She built her career just throwing us in prison. Not saying that some of us didn't deserve on prison time. I'm not saying that, but they'll utilize us to get where they need to go. And then they'll, whatever. My thing is, if you do that to Black people, you also got to find ways to reach back and build us up too, give us a chance. It's like if we had, cause a lot of immigrants come over here, I'm talking legal immigrants, they get access to bank loans and stuff like that. And historically, we've been discriminated against from the banks. I know Black people that had their money in certain banking institutions for decades. The banks will use your money to make money for the bank. They'll use your money to invest in certain stocks and stuff. But when you've been there for 40 years in that bank faithfully, and you ask them for a loan, and they tell you no, now you know what time it is. This ain't no Project 2025 situation. This is an American way. America always been like this to Black people. We gave this country everything. We underestimate how much we give this country. Like I said, it was a Black man or his sister won. They both invented the potato chip. The winningest jockey, people talking about Kentucky Derby and all that crap. The greatest jockey of all time in Kentucky Derby is a Black man. Black men and women have contributed so much to this country. And yet this country treats us like we don't deserve to have our grievances addressed. Like if slavery was so long ago, my great-grandfather was a slave. He has not been dead 100 years. It wasn't that long ago. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. You had people that was the grandson of a 19th century president that was still alive. One of them passed away a couple of years ago. I think one of them still alive. He almost 100 years old. And his granddad was a president of the United States back in the 19th century. 19th century. You had Civil War widows. They were still alive maybe 4 years ago, getting pensions and stuff. I think about how they try to shortchange us. Oh, that was long ago. Well, you could say the Holocaust was long ago. You could say Japanese internment camps were long ago. See, Emmett Till happened in 55. Little girls getting blown up at church doing Sunday school at 16th Street Baptist Church happened in 63. Dr. King, 68. Fred Hampton, 69. Malcolm, 65. Move got bombed on. You dropped a bomb on me. The Move organization got bombed out. John Africa and his people. May of 85 in Philadelphia, the city of so-called brotherly love, where you had a Black mayor at the time. So like this, like how they had a black president, and they try to recolonize Africa, the AFRICOM. They got rid of Gaddafi. Gaddafi wanted to unite it, Mother Africa through currency backed by gold. Anytime you mess with the white man's money, they're gonna put a bullet in your head or whatever. They're gonna do whatever means they can to get you out the way. Dr. King was okay when he was marching to integrate racist hamburger restaurants. But like he came to a point, what's good for me to be able to sit in a restaurant when I can't afford the hamburger? When he started talking about economics and redistribution of wealth, that's when they got him. They killed Huey Long for that, trying to share the wealth. Abraham Lincoln, he invented the Secret Service the same day he was shot at Ford's Theater. He created the Secret Service April 14th, 1865, and he was shot and eventually died the next day. And his reason for creating was to deal with the counterfeiting that was going on with the U.S. currency. So the international banking cartel took him out. What we got to learn in American history, it's never a lone gunman. Somebody sent, or some people sent their lone gunmen, so there's lone gun men. It's never a one person. The trigger man is not the real man that pulls the trigger. The trigger man is not the real man that pulls the trigger. Somebody, there's levels to what I'm talking about. So expand your brain. Ask Kamala Harris about Montrese Richardson. Somebody give this to, what's his name? Charlamagne the God. If you ever interview her again, ask her about Montrese Richardson and what she did or didn't do for that family. Because y'all say y'all love black women. What they going to do about Sonya Massey? They ain't even know about Sandra Bland. Y'all talking about some Project 2025. Anyway, like I said, Cash App, R2C2H2. If you want to support Google, PayPal, and Zelle, it's R2C2H2@gmail.com. You can Venmo your support at R2C2H2, Apple Cash 901-299-4355. Or you can join our Patreon, patreon.com/weallbe. That's patreon.com/weallbe. And I'm gonna leave y'all alone for the but also if you want to send in a donation as well, I'll give the let me see if I can type it here. Our PO box. You send it to attention Ronald Hurd II. So the We All Be Group, Inc. is PO Box 752062. 752062. That's the PO Box. Memphis, Tennessee 38175. Once again, I'm gonna repeat. Attention, Ronald Hurd II. The We All Be Group, Inc. PO Box 752062, Memphis, Tennessee 38175. That's the zip. I mean, not a zip, but zip code 38175. I'm just typing it up right quick. Let's see. I'm gonna post it up here. Attention, Ronald Hurd, the We All Be Group Incorporated, P.O. Box 752062, Memphis, Tennessee 38175. Send a donation or whatever, or write me a letter, whatever you want to do. Like I said, I'm a marathon man. We're gonna run this race. The marathon continues, and I thank you all for y'all patience and love and care, and wish y'all the best. And y'all take care of each other, look out for each other. We all we got. We all we got. If we're not a friend to each other, we have no friends. I just look at y'all. Y'all are active out here. Thank y'all for all these interactions. Okay. Thank y'all for coming in. Brother Robert. Yeah, it was a legendary week. There's more to come, man. Expect the unexpected in 2024. And also, what's interesting? President Trump is the 45th president, right? 4 + 5 is 9. You think about Project 2025, it adds up, 2025, 2 + 2 + 5 is 9. 9 is the number of completion, of beginning and ending. Trump was elected when? Was elected 2016. 2 + 1 + 6 is what? 9. So Donald Trump was the last president that was legitimately selected they stole. He should be working on his third term right now. But think about, all the things that occurred at the end of his term and what's going on now in this term. The turmoil. We would not be at war. Israel would not, and Israel Palestine would not be going down in the Gaza like this. Ukraine and Russia would not be going down. Now China and Taiwan, they had it, got the situation in Africa that I'm about to talk about. It's World War III. Like I said, I don't want to be in the Olympics right now. God bless them and God protect the people at the Olympics. They might announce World War III there. I hope not. And also, they might announce the Civil War at the Chicago convention for the Democrats, because it's going to be a hot summer in August. So y'all take care of yourselves. Let me see. Read some more comments. I appreciate that. I appreciate the love. Thank you so much. Yeah, Dick Gregory said we had an elevator that went to space. Oh, Dick Gregory was interesting, man. The way he talked in riddles and stuff sometimes. I think about him all the time. I don't, he's around, so you can't kill. Energy never dies. So Dick Gregory's spirit is very much alive right now. And okay, I guess I'm gonna go. Oh, okay. He's about this up. He said Obama was trained by the dude who played in the 5 Heartbeats. True story. I only shared this story. I shared this story before. And the guy he talking about is Harry Lennox. I think Harry Lennox the third. He's a brother from Chicago, come from a prominent family in Chicago. Let me see if I got it right. Harry Lennox. I think it's the third. Yes, Harry Lennox the third, right? Look him up. He was on the 5 Heartbeats. He was in the movie Ray. The light-skinned dude with a cleft chin. And he kind of remind you of Obama. He also played Adam Clayton Powell Jr. opposite Vanessa Williams in Keep the Faith, Baby, that came out over 20 years ago. It was a good movie about Adam Clayton Powell Jr. and his relationship with Hazel Scott, the famous Black musician and one of the first Black people to have a TV show in America history. I think she was playing Hazel Scott. I think that. But anyway, he was on this show in Chicago, I think the Man Cow show. And afterwards, he basically told producers and other people that he was approached by the government, maybe the CIA or something like that. Some people in government approach him, or entity in government approach him back in the mid-90s. They said, we want you to train Barack Hussein Obama how to act presidential. We want you to train him because we give him the background that he's a Chicago guy, the Chicago is hometown, and that he's got like a certain type of respect, a gravitas, coming from Chicago, he's from Hawaii by way of Indonesia, whatever. And so he said he was approached that he taught Obama some things. And if you look at Harry Lennox, he kind of reminds you of Obama, or Obama reminds you of him. Look at how he talks and stuff. Look at his movies. So I had a friend from Chicago, a classmate from Chicago, that we were business partners at one point. She came to visit Memphis. So I was taking her around while she was in Memphis. She is an airline stewardess, a wonderful person. She's also from Chicago. So I took her and my mom to Central Barbecue, which was, Central Barbecue. They got several spots in Memphis, but they had one on Central Avenue. They were one of my favorite ones to go to. So I took her with my mom to Central Barbecue. And you won't believe, I saw Harry Lennox III sitting near us. I told them, hey, that's Harry Lennox III. They said, who? Dude from the 5 Heartbeats and all this stuff. He also played in the Superman movies, whatever. I think it was Superman movies he played in. But anyway, I approached him. He had a guy with him at the table. And I said, are you Harry Lennox? Third, yes, I'm Harry Lennox, I said, wow, man. I said, I loved you in the Adam Clayton Powell movie, Keep the Faith, and all his work. I said, man, I could see you playing Barack Obama in a biopic someday soon. And him and his buddy looked at each other and had like a inside laugh or whatever joke. They because I didn't know that he was approached by the government to teach Barack Obama how to act presidential. That should be a movie in itself. But he claimed that, but people heard him. This was off the record. He was talking offhand to the producers and stuff like that after he did that Man Cow interview. But I never forgot that how he looked at his friend and all that. Like they like, oh yeah, Obama's really playing me. That's what he was saying. So I took a picture with Harry Lennox III. He was real cool. Had no problem with him. So like you brought that up, yeah, I believe it's true. They do it to poor white folks too. The elites don't care about any color except green. This is true. Like I said, instead of a Project 2025, we should have a Bacon's Rebellion 2025. Y'all do yourselves a favor and look up the Bacon's Rebellion. This is why they got class and race in America the way it is today. America has always been a social experiment. You got to think about the people that came over here, the white people that came over here with the people that Europe did not want. Europe did not want these people. They kicked them out. Australia started as a prison colony. So if they didn't go to Australia, they went to America, to the Americas, right? These are the people nobody wanted. I do know that, like, for example, Benjamin Franklin, one of our greatest icons, he wasn't an indentured servant to his brother. He was a runaway slave. He was a runaway indentured servant. He ran away from his brother to Philadelphia, and the rest is history. But yeah, I believe he was born in England. He wasn't even born over here. So anyway, yeah, it's divide and conquer. That's one thing I like about Huey Long is the fact that he did not use that race politics. He said blacks and whites need assistance. Everybody should get a fair shake. They killed him. Anyway. All right, but thank y'all so much for being patient. I'm about to wrap it up. Yeah, I'll leave with this. The goal is to nominate Hillary or Newsom at the bewitching hour of the DNC. Shy is going to be a chaotic and dangerous mess come August. Hillary does not like Harris. It's politics. None of them like each other. They're all in competition. Because Hillary thinks that she's supposed to have been anointed the first woman president. She got more votes than Trump, but she didn't get the right type of votes. You know what I'm saying? But Hillary is a product of Chicago politics. She was a Barry Goldwater girl. Her folks were Republicans, conservatives. And also she was trained by Saul Alinsky, the notorious community organizer that did the infamous Playboy interview. And Saul Alinsky actually selected Hillary, trained her. Saul Alinsky was trained by labor movement and the mob. He used to hang around Frank Nitti, who took over the Chicago mob after Al Capone. So, when he was in college, he was studying the mob. And also he worked with the unions, like John L. Lewis, not the John Lewis that we know, but it was another famous Lewis, John Lewis. He was a big time labor movement person. So he learned how the community organized from the mafia and from the labor unions. So that Saul Alinsky was the one who trained Hillary. And basically she took what he did to the next level. Or his thing was he was doing something. His philosophy kind of varied from Hillary's, but he got her blueprint from Saul Alinsky, the one they tried to tie Obama to, but he was already gone off the scene by the time Obama came to Chicago. But he might have been connected to him through his real daddy, Frank Marshall Davis, who had Chicago connections and stuff. All that, whatever. Yeah. Thank you for tuning out to tune in and get in where you fit in. I appreciate it. He makes truth into definitely spoken riddles. Yeah, that's Bobby Gregory. You ask him one question and it'll be 2 hours later, he'll finally answer the question. Like one of those people, man. God bless him. But thank y'all so much, man. Chicago is a strong place. That's why it resonated with me going to Chicago. That's why I didn't feel afraid based on the media thing. I don't go to places looking for trouble. I come to places that I respect the places I'm in. I give love to the places I'm in, and people give me love back. I'm not looking for negativity. And really, I believe reconnecting with the ancestors like Ida B. Wells and Emmett Till and Fred Hampton. I visited key spots, their homes, Emmett Till Childhood Home. Went to the grave site of Emmett Till, and it was very powerful experience. And Ida B. Wells' home, amazing in Bronzeville. I felt like it was like Memphis. It was a bigger version of South Memphis for me. And Fred Hampton Place was amazing. Like his son, shout out to his son, Fred Hampton Jr., doing an incredible job up in Maywood, keeping his father's legacy alive. I'm going to talk about that in a future show. But anyway, thank y'all so much. And like I said, let's see. By Art of His Art. Cause I be saying I'm gonna get off be like hesitant to be on, but I stay on. So like, yeah, go to R2C2H2 place, buy this art. I believe it's a sale for 20%. You get 20% off this week to the 27th on art. You got the Emmett Till. I'm gonna make another Emmett Till artwork. I made it in college. The Ida B. Tupac back. All that stuff. Let's go check us out. I'm gonna post this in the chat. You get all this Art of His Art on t-shirts and other things. So check that out. Yeah, Chicago is it's like it reminds me of St. Louis. It's a great, probably the greatest American city is Chicago. Cause it got a little bit of everybody in there. Yeah. Go to this. That's the get you a t-shirt or 2 or 3 or 4, even some coffee mugs or whatever. But anyway, let me shut it down. I'm about to go on 3 hours. I'll read the disclaimer. And like I said, this will stay up on We All Be TV 2, youtube.com/WeAllBeTV2. And also you can find this episode on rumble.com/WeAllBeTV. Yeah, you found all that. So the disclaimer, the views expressed by hosts and guests on the We All Be TV platform are not the official views, opinions, beliefs, or perspectives of We All Be News or the We All Be Group, Inc. We All Be News is an organization that thoroughly believes in supplementing the information narrative that is usually supplied by the corporate news entities with those viewpoints and expressions which may be marginalized or ignored for a plethora of reasons. We are about informing the general public on alternative perspectives as it relates to news and information and letting the general public be the ultimate judge in deciding on how to use said information. Informed citizens are responsible citizens. Thank you for your support. Thank y'all so much for your patience, for your love. Just like words create worlds. I appreciate y'all so much. Words the great Duke Ellington. We love you madly. Keep on producing and pushing. Yeah. One love.